7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
My name is Daljit. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Yes, today we're gonna do something different, okay? Because it's really, my rationale for this is really simple. As you guys probably know, the patch should be out this week. Okay, it's not coming out on Friday. It never comes out on Friday because they usually release it at about 4 in the afternoon, between 4 or slightly after 4. And if they release it on a Friday, any issues they might have, they can't resolve it. They have to come back on the weekend to work, so they never do that on Friday. So it's usually the first week, first day or the second day. And I know for a fact it has to come out this week because first they'll do what is a content update, which is data will come out, the match engine will be updated, or any bugs in the match engine will be addressed, and that usually is the first content update and with the data lah. But then there will also be a second content update, usually to coincide with the fact that some of the other leagues have closed their transfer windows. And in fact, the Chinese transfer window isn't closed yet; it's still open. So we can't. SI doesn't want to wait. Otherwise, with 80% of the world already playing football, so it doesn't make sense, right? So, okay, all right. So that is the situation. So as far as I was concerned, I was thinking, do I want to do Bring Your Tactics? I mean, for me to do Bring Your Tactics is not that much of an issue. Why? Because Bring Your Tactics as a stream itself, it's about your tactics and the kind of changes that we can make, right? Yeah. I know most of you right now are excellent at making tactics. So today I thought I'd do something different. So today's stream is going to be how do I create tactics and how do we test them? And the thing is that I've got 30 over tactics ready to go for FM23 when the winter patch drops. Naturally, I've tested these already and most of them are quite good. But how do we create those tactics? So what I'm going to do is first up, let's talk about what we use. What I use I don't know if you guys remember this, but last season I introduced you guys to the data, the file called it's a file save that we created with the help of SNG, Stick Piano, and a couple other guys. Then we created a whole new Discord called Total Tactics Discord. I created the idea of the save and how it's set up. I made it. I didn't make it. I kind of gave the ideas behind it. But idea here was for me, I don't want to have to be involved in too many Discords, right? So now they're carrying it and they've improved. They have created a new version for FM23. And Stick Piano is largely driving it. But we're going to use the same tools, right? So if we go into the game, if you go down to the Total Tactics Discord, right, you should find it here. Download this. Of course, it comes in here, and then you will see a lot of folders. No, if you're not familiar with this, oh my god, which one do I take? Okay, all right. This is what I would do is I'll just pick this one, the Total Tactics FM Tester, right? Okay, so just pick this. This is what I normally use. Okay, will it work for the patch? Yeah, definitely work for the patch. Thing is, tactics. Okay, the only reason why certain tactics are gonna fail. Okay, normally you go into the winter update, right? Sometimes your tactic falls apart. Now, if it falls apart, it's obviously because it was using a bug. Okay, let's be honest. All right. So certain tactics are gonna get, they're gonna find it hard. But I think my impression of the patch that's coming out is there's not too much to address except for there is a fair bit to address. Defensive issues aside, there are some things that have to be addressed. The defensive issues, the centre back distance, the goalkeeper errors, the choice of the goalkeeper when it comes to distributing the ball, playing out from the back was a problem as well for the keeper when they kicked it out and starting the play. So there were certain issues there, and naturally some of my tactics were taking advantage of it. But now with the patch, I think they're going to address all this. Defending is going to become a lot tighter. If your tactic was not scoring goals before, it's probably not going to continue scoring goals now. So don't expect that thing to be fixed because it's not an issue, right? Like sometimes bad luck happens. I don't know if you guys watched the stream yesterday. I had 4.84 XG, 6 clear-cut chances, and only scored 1 goal. I was livid. What's the problem with that? I am fine. I know my tactic is brilliant at creating chances. I just need to. What do we expect with a bunch of players that we got for free, right? So all these strikers in front are damn cheap. So we're gonna use this. So if you want to, you go down here, download the Total Tactics test. It'll come as a save file. Then what you do is you go load and then go to your downloads folder, wherever that is. I mean, I'm gonna have to find mine as well. So here, as you can see, I've got a lot of Total Tactics. This is a love box. I mean, I do a lot of tests, right, with the Total Tactics tester. So we'll just use this. I don't know. Total Tactics 2. Okay. So we load this one in. Okay, then you see this warning coming. So you load it. Okay, once you loaded the Total Tactics file, sometimes you see this warning come out. No, don't ignore it. Just press OK. Press OK. It'll carry on all the way. Okay. All right. So there we go. Okay. So first up, let's talk about certain things that I think people don't seem to. We want to do this properly, right? We don't want to hey, let's go put a tactic, let's test it. No, let's not do that. Okay. First up, let's talk about certain things that you might not be familiar with. I don't know. I've been accused of talking over the heads of people, assuming they already know stuff. So let's keep things simple. Let's talk about the basics first, and we go from there. Okay. All right. Let's start with mentality. What does mentality do? Mentality is just risk. Okay. It affects the players' decision making, movement, passing, things they do when they're on the ball. They take more chances. They take more chances. They take to do things in the game. Doesn't mean they take more chances as in they shoot more times. It means they're taking more risks with whatever they're doing, whether they're moving, tackling, whatever. That's a risk. So it affects. I'm not going to talk about the initial positioning of players. That's too deep. Okay, that's way too deep. But it does affect the initial positioning of players on the pitch. So on very attacking mentalities, there's a difference because mentality affects 5 things in the game. Right? In the game, it affects your passing, your tempo, your width, your defensive line, and your line of engagement. That's what mentality affects. So every time you raise your mentality, you're inadvertently shifting this slightly higher. Yes, that is why when I always make changes in the game, if you notice when I play the game, I want to lock down a match. I drop to lower mentalities. Let's ignore FM 15 to FM 17. That doesn't work. FM 23 is improved because in FM 23, you want to lower your risk, right? You drop mentality. What does this do? Players are more likely to pass the ball to somebody they can pass the ball to, right? They won't take so many chances with the ball. But it also drops your defensive line. So there's a slight shift in the defensive line. So it's not as if they're gonna go, because you see this, right? There's a range between standard and higher. Okay, this is like a distance meter on the pitch, right? So they will say, okay, fine, okay, what is defensive line for different? It's not an arbitrary line on the pitch. It's the distance between players as well. So your defensive line is very deep. It just means that your back line is closer to the goal. It means also that your midfield is further away from your defensive line, right? Your back line, because your back line is further away, right? Because you're willing to drop further. So when you're defending, your back line drops all the way deep. What happens when you when you get the ball back? Your back line has to move up. So your defensive line is not only an out-shape instruction. Everybody will tell you it's out of possession, right? These are all out of possession. Yes, it is a primarily out of possession by the influences your team and get the ball. So when you play defensive lines, you're going to be aware of that. So when you shift your defensive line like this, it's a big change. But when you shift it like this, it's a smaller change. That's something to bear in mind. So that's mentality. Okay, we go into the out of possession instructions. Attacking with, I think most of you have read my book, right? So I've explained this in detail in my book. But when you play on very narrow settings, players are more likely to do what we call wall passes. They pass inside, pass out, pass inside, pass out. Okay, players are closer together. Passing. What's the point of going long? Right? Because then you just leave it on a mixed sense of passing. Okay, we covered this. There's something I forgot to mention as well, but I just noticed the description change. But if you're playing very narrow, you're telling your team, come closer, let's focus on passing inside. You go very wide, let's go further away, let's focus on using the flanks more. That's what he does. Okay? But here, this is the interesting thing. Notice very defensive. Look at the passing, slightly more direct, right? Because mentality affects passing. So when you play on very defensive mentality, your passes are going to be longer. Check attacking. It's now on standard, right? So this is mixed passing. Let's go to very attacking, slightly more direct. So your passing lengths, when you're playing on defensive is almost going to be the same as with the length of the passing, right? It's almost going to be the same. Okay, so in a sense, they're going to go longer as well. So let's go on cautious. Standard passing directness, okay, for cautious. Then when you raise the thing to positive, it's slightly shorter. So when you play on positive mentality, your players are going to be passing it shorter. So it depends. If all things be equal, you don't change anything in the tactics. This is a team instruction. Of course, you can modify the team instruction by going into the game and individually setting passing instructions to all the players, right? Okay, that's a bit more of the advanced stuff. But this is important to understand. When you change your mentality, you're also influencing passing, right? So this is something that you have to bear in mind. Okay, so whenever you create tactics, something that you want to pay attention to. All right, so mentality. So we're done with this is the way they position. Pass into space. This is the instruction that's very simple to understand. The initial ball is going to be played into space. It's sometimes a true ball and sometimes it's just a pass into space. For example, I could be playing like this, right? So some of the passes into space are going to be here. This is because this is where the space exists, right? So players are going to play the pass into space. So when you use an instruction like pass into space, you got to ask yourself, do I have players attacking that space? Otherwise, you're giving the ball to the opposition. This is the reason why I normally tell people not to use pass into space by default when they create a tactic. But if you're the sort of person that is a bit psychotic, like a bit like me, like I've got some tactics that pass into space by default, it's because I have a very attacking tactic. Right? I think some of you have seen this tactic. I don't know if you guys have seen this latest one I created. Not love bomb. Why is it? Strikers me. Oh, this is not. Yeah, let me think. What was it called anyway? Yeah, it's called some. I think it's in. I called one Holy Grail. You seen Monty Python and Holy Grail? Right? One tactic is called Monty Python. The other one's called Holy Grail. This is a 100% pass into space tactic. I gotta just change this now. Okay, so drop off more, and then I'll save this tactic. So this is for FM23, right? Where are the passes gonna go? Into spaces here. Like these are going to be spaces that are going to be attacked. So white center backs are likely going to be playing. So these are inverted wingers looking to play passes into space. Inside forward might be attacking this way. So that's pass into space. Yeah, I've got one tactic called Holy Grail. The other one called Monty Python. If you guys know the reference. Okay, so this is what pass into space does, right? Pass into space. Literally just means it's either a true ball between two players or a ball into space. Right, so if you don't have roles attacking that area, don't bother using it. Okay, now because the game defaults to pass to feed, right? So pass into space is a more general instruction that affects everybody in the team. All right, now let's go to. Let's not use this tactic. Please. Otherwise, I might have a problem. Okay, let's go create new tactic. Some basic one. Just put this in here. Okay, all right. Okay, so next tactic is overlap, underlap. Right? Overlap. What does overlap do? Simple. Increases the mentality of the initial positioning of the fullbacks or the wingbacks in a tactic. And then if you have wide players like this, right, the wide players will hold up the ball. When they get the ball, they will hold. No? They'll be like, okay, I'm waiting for somebody to overlap. Then this guy has to go overlap. So if you play with a fullback on defense, you think overlap is a good idea? Definitely not, right? Because this guy is waiting. The thing about this game right now, when players wait too long, you are in trouble. Because it'll trigger a press. So when you create a tactic, especially when you use overlaps and underlaps, you got to pay attention to that momentary pause that the player takes because he needs options to pass the ball. If you don't give him these options, they're going to get trigger press and this is exactly where they'll attack you. Right? So overlap and underlap is a great instruction because it can give us that attack, but you also have to remember that certain combinations of roles naturally overlap. Like this is a natural overlap. This is also a natural overlap. Why? Because inside forwards and support will go inside. So they lay the ball off for the wing back to come naturally. So it's a natural overlap. Other roles that give you a natural overlap are the half space roles, inverted wingers, because they come inside, right? So it's a natural overlap going on. So these are natural overlaps. You don't need an overlap all the time to ask for an overlap because they will happen in the game naturally, right? So certain roles give you natural overlap. So this is where if you're looking at combination of roles and I want a natural overlap in my tactic, a wing back and inverted winger is a natural overlap. But inverted wingers, right, they don't stay wide. No matter what you do. I know they have this token gesture here called stay wider as a PI is a token gesture because he might stay wide for a fraction second, but then he comes back into the half space because that's where he's supposed to operate. It's hard-coded to do that. So if you want a role that stays wide all the way, this is the guy to use. Winger. Galileo, remember my Galileo tactic? Still works in FM23, right? So the Galileo uses the same principles. We use wingers, two strikers here, one here, one here and one here, Galileo. So we got winger, and I do the overlap, right? So I do a natural overlap. I mean, it's a lot more aggressive now, but yeah, that's something that you can do. So that's an overlap. Underlap, widest player holds up the ball. This guy holds up a ball, right? Waiting for inside runs. It could be from a wing back, or it can be any role here inside that makes a run from inside to this way. So underlaps are very powerful in Football Manager if you know how to use them. Very, very simple underlap can be created from this formation. Okay, so let's do inside forward attack, inside forward attack. Let's do a wing back support. You get a very nice underlap because this guy comes out of the pitch. He's the widest player. He's holding up the ball for a player making a run inside and beyond him, the inside forwards. Inside forwards love the underlap. So if you're going to give an underlap, this is the guy you give it to. So this guy will hold out the ball and feed the inside forwards. They drive at the box, right? So that's where the underlap comes in very powerful, right? So it's a very powerful instruction if you know how to use it, right? Because there's going to be a momentary pause from the wide player to pass the ball. So if you don't have an option, this guy can't run. This guy is a Mickey Mouse. He's got poor agility, whatever. This guy's got poor composure, poor concentration. Good luck to you, even he's underlap. Because the guy is just going to lose the ball. When they lose the ball, guess where they're going to attack you? Down this lane. Speaking of which, let's bring up the one that is going to give you can give you the most beauty in the tactic and also creates a lot of problems at the same time. The focus instructions. What does the focus play instruction do? The focus play instruction is brilliant for these systems. Okay, any system that has got a wide center back is in love with the focus play. They love the focus play instruction. Why? Because a focus play tells players to shift to the side of the focus to support play, right? So whenever you have a focus play down the right, more players are going to move towards the right. You see this group of players on the right, and they're moving the ball up. The caveat for this is when you lose the ball on this side, you got a lot of space in the center that the AI is going to exploit. So whenever you use focus play, again, whenever you use any instruction in the game, look at the players when they're doing that thing. Learn to identify the instructions when they're being played. The focus play is very easy to identify. Players shift to the side. The moment they go to the side, the focus is in effect. If you don't give them enough support options to pass the ball, they lose the ball, they come down the center, you might be in trouble. Which is the reason why I always tell people when you play a back three system, this is the most important defender. He has to have very good anticipation jumping reach. This guy is numero importante. This is the most important role in a back three. All the other roles not so important. This guy is the king. Okay, you can definitely play this role and you can do really well with it. He's playing the way the libero was meant to play. Okay, we've done this. Okay, so we've done these instructions of focus play. Play our defense. Focus play to the middle is just the same thing, right? Okay, focus play to the middle, there's something I think you guys should be very careful with as well. All right, now let's assume you're going to make a funky 3-4-3 diamond like this, right? You might be thinking focus play to the middle might be a good idea. In this particular sense, it might make more sense. It makes sense because there aren't really a lot of players here. So as they pass the ball inside, the players are going to come inside. And it can work, okay? But if you play something like 4 like this, okay, and you do a 4-3-1, I think there's a lot of people might think this is a very good idea. Focus play in the middle of 4-3-1-2 is not a very good idea because they're already close together. Why you want to do a focus play there? They're going to focus play to the middle. What you do here in this case is you change your width. So now they naturally look at passing inside. You don't have to ask them to come closer together. Your players are really good on the ball. You can go a bit wider. So you can use if you go really wide, the priority of bringing the ball up falls to the wing backs. Right, so your width is important here. The more wide you go, the bigger responsibility these guys have with the ball. And then if you're not so comfortable, that's why a lot of my uploaded tactics, usually when a 4-3-1-2 is fairly narrow because I'm not sure about certain things so this could work. So that's a focus play to the middle. Play or defense is a very simple instruction. To understand this, you just need to understand one thing. When the goalkeeper has the ball during a goal kick, play or defense kicks in. he has the ball. Now, when he plays out, the two defenders might come into the box. They might, if you have distributed center backs and all that activated, they might come into the area. But what it also does is tell central midfielders to come a bit deeper to support the player defense. Player defense is good if you want to draw teams into pressing you. Fantastic, yeah, because you invite the pressure onto your side and they come high up the pitch, they get sucked in, right? And your players will attack them down the line. Of course, player defense is great for possession tactics. It's not necessary to use. Okay, it's not necessary, but it's a good instruction. But you have to understand that this instruction also is not a very good instruction for counter-attacking tactics. You play player defense, you're kind of killing your counter-attack, right? You could have a mix of tactics, like you could essentially play defensive, right? Slightly more direct, higher tempo, pass into space. Now, you could have something like this, which is a bit more, let's just do this like that, okay? All right, now, maybe, this could be quite funky because in this sense, you're more direct, pass into space, you're hitting them, and then occasionally when your goalkeeper has the ball, you're just playing out defense. Yeah, it could work. But then you have a mix of two kinds of movements. So when you have possession of the ball, you are building play out nicely. And then trying to draw the teams in, but when they come, they get sucked into your trap, hitting more direct and pass into space. So there's a way of using it with player defense, which is I'm sucking you in, then I'm hitting you hard on the counter. But to pull this off very well, you need players attacking spaces. So don't go and create one with winger support, inside forward support, and one F9. This is like this doesn't really work. No. It's like you hit the ball out, you try with this guy, look, I'm supporting play. I'm not going to attack the line. I'm not attack the space. This guy dropping this is not really helpful. So what you want is actually somebody attacking the lines, right? So you want somebody to go attack those spaces. Then it makes sense. Right? Otherwise, in a defensive counter-attacking system with player defense, you might get into trouble. So if you, in most cases, I would recommend if you got players on the flanks, you can do something like this. If you're not very comfortable playing out defense, then what you do is you use the distribute to flanks instruction. Get the ball out to the flanks quickly if you have the players to handle that. There's an instruction called distribute to position. I notice a lot of people like to use this. I personally hate it. Okay. Because when you distribute to a specific position on the pitch, right, it doesn't always work because you don't get the ball going to him. Right, they have to work the ball to his position. I would recommend that. I think this is much more effective using where you want to distribute the ball. All right, so let's. We've done that. We've done this. I'm gonna get through all this tempo. Tempo basically how fast everything happens on the pitch. If you find that you are creating a lot of goal scoring chances, you got very high XG, drop your tempo. But sometimes you have a top heavy system. Like, okay, what? I normally like to play high tempo, top heavy systems. You got a lot of players attacking the final third. I don't waste any time. I got players already. I got 5 fellas there. Why do I want to build play out so slowly? Whereas if I have a tactic like this, maybe I want a slow tempo system, right? Because I want to drive possession and then I want to get into the final third. Because here, high tempo doesn't really make much sense. Because you got players that have a lot of distance to cover. So tempo is something that you want to think about. It's not something, there's no rule in the game that says you always have to play high tempo. Okay, let's get to time wasting. We don't have to explain. Mixed crosses, of course. Whip crosses are great if you have really good strikers. You're hitting early cross, whip is nice because then the crosses come in a bit earlier to players in front of them and they run on to try and finish those goals. But you need pacey players for whip crosses to be useful, which is the reason why mixed crosses is the most useful. Whip crosses is only for pacey players. You want to hit them early. Otherwise, low crosses are cutbacks, great for possession-centric systems that want to play final third. Now you go into you want to park the bus and you move the ball around, that kind of thing. Yeah, that is good for them. Okay, now this work ball into box. What does this do? Reduces the amount of crossing that your team does. And your team is patiently trying to probe opportunities. They move, if they can't go in by route 1, they retry again. And then they move the ball around looking for another opportunity. Then they move the ball around looking for another opportunity. Problem with this instruction is if your players have low composure, low agility, and low balance, they might lose the ball. If you don't give them enough passing options, they might lose the ball. So when you use work ball into box, nice. But are you good enough to break open a team? If you're not, then don't use this instruction. Use pass into space or hit early cross. Hit early cross is much more better against like stacked defenses. They don't want to come out and play all day long. So when they finally do come out, you don't want to waste any time waiting for them to get back into defensive position. So you hit the early cross. Play for set pieces, I don't need to explain, right, guys? Seriously, we don't need to go there, okay? Dribble less, right defense, please. Right defense is an instruction that affects players usually in the second phase of play. So meaning, okay, what happened? Okay, there are three phases of play. You got a defensive transition, you got a consolidation phase, and your attacking phase. These are your three phases, right? Okay. Normally, you don't see right defense occurring in the defensive phase because players are more circumspect with the use of the ball. During the consolidation phase, you might seem a bit, unless you're in their half. It usually happens in the final third phase, which is when you're attacking their third, which normally means you're in their half. So right defense normally happens when you're in the opponent's half. It just tells players to dribble more. Okay, great. If it's strikerless tactics should do this by default. Strikerless tactics automatically don't even think about it, hit right defense because your players are closer together. It's more like, you know, you may be playing rugby, right? We pass to each other the ball, right? Over shorter distances and they're running at the pack, right? Right defense for strikerless tactics is just, which was beautiful to use this. Okay, let's go to this mysterious thing called creative freedom. Creative freedom means basically expand your mind, expand your options for decisions. Okay, so that means if a player has got, you want him to think of 10 options, right? Be more expressive, you're asking him to maybe think of 20. So he's processing more ideas in his head. Not necessarily a good thing when you have a very good team, right? Then you're asking players because they are technically very good, right? So sometimes I don't use this. And then be more disciplined is much more better if you are like, you know, you want to hold your shape a bit more because a lot of fluid tactics. Normally when I play a tactic, I look at this, team fluidity nowadays. So if I'm very fluid, I normally am very careful with this instruction. So I go be more disciplined. So I use that little thing in my head that says, yeah, you know, I don't want these players running all over because when very fluid tactics, when they attack, when they come back and defend, right, they're all over the shop. Okay, so that's one thing that you might want to consider. Be more expressive. Yeah, just expands the range of decisions they might be making. Of course, I tend to use this especially when I'm a lower league side. Bunch of muppets. So yeah, man, try anything. You know, basically go out there, try anything you can do. Okay, so we've done this. Okay, we've done the transition. You know, this we don't have to explain. Like counter press, regroup, counter, call shape. All this we don't have to explain. Yeah, counter press. Just look at the arrows. Basically, when you try to win the ball back, counter press only is good if you've got players with the physical ability to do this, right? Stamina, work rate. If you don't have players with good stamina, work rate, why do this? Unless you have 22 players on the bench waiting to come on. Okay, so counter press. Players are going to break their positions to win the ball back. So if you don't win the ball back, don't use this instruction. In fact, in most tactics, you should just leave it unchecked. Counter is a good instruction to put in. Distribute quickly is very great. It's almost mandatory for counter-attacking systems. And this is roll it out, throw it long, take short kicks, take long kicks. Now, this is interesting. The best one is actually throw it long. There's a reason why I say that. Is a specific reason why I say that is the best one. In a lot of possession tactics, I like this because you can go to the wing back straight away to initiate the play. Whereas when you roll it out, it goes to the central defenders, the first pass. Whereas throw it long can go to the wing backs, right? So they throw the ball out to the wing backs, you initiate the play. Peter Schmeichel, Manchester United. That's the way it plays. Okay, take short kicks, possession, go to the ball playing defender. Ball playing defender has got no ability on the ball, you're in trouble. So for me, the way I look at it, right, if you want, unless you have a goalkeeper with very good kicking, you're either using roll it out or throw it long. These are only two instructions you ever use in your lifetime. Okay. In most cases, throw it long won't hurt. If your keeper doesn't have good throwing, then of course roll it out. Then just rolling it out. No, I'm not asking him to use his feet. Trust me. Them goalkeepers right now. Yeah. Look, if your goalkeeper has got dodgy first touch and passing, yeah, he's gonna give the ball to the opposition. I guarantee you. 100%. Even when the patch comes out, he's gonna give the ball away. Okay, so don't get into trouble. Okay, this. Okay, now I explained this earlier when the game came out, right? So now I'm gonna explain it again. This is called a zone of compression. Okay, essentially, higher defensive line means midfielders will come and help you win the ball in these areas. Now you got to step up more and got to drop off more, right? Okay, so I need to explain everything in context. High press, high block. The ones who initiate it are your strikers. The moment you see them press, these guys the ones behind him, the ones behind that striker, what they're gonna do is close down passing lanes. Not necessarily go and win the ball. Even if you do this. because it depends on where the striker is in relation to the rest of the players. Okay, now this is the second bit. When you go into a mid block, you're basically trying to win the ball somewhere near the halfway line, in front of it, and this is what we call the middle third of the pitch, right? So you can divide the pitch into the final third, the middle third, and the lower third. So this is basically the lower third. Now this is great. In fact, for nearly 90% of all tactics, mid block is the best option because you are going to hit the team in transition. The moment the team comes, they're already getting prepared to attack. So the wingbacks are going to move into attacking positions. If they lose the ball, they're open down the flanks or through the middle, right? So this is actually a very good setup. Now let's talk about the low defense, much lower defensive line. This literally tells the backline, hey, stay near the goal. Yeah, prepare for a lot of long shots. Yeah, a lot of long shots. I'm not saying this is a bad move, but if I were to play like this, right, I'll do this. Negative pressing. Meaning, I don't want my players to move around, especially if I have the large number of players. If I'm bottom heavy and I don't want the team to move around so much, I might do a negative press. Because if you go into the game right now, there's something called Catenaccio, right? Create new tactic. Where is it? Catenaccio. Okay. This is basically what I'm trying to see this. The Catenaccio system essentially means, in the old days, Catenaccio meant it's the anti-football. Basically, it's anti-football. We just stay in place, let them try and see whether they're good enough to pass around our ass. Right? They can't pass around us, we can hit them on the break. Right? But this Catenaccio wasn't known for like going to hit teams, right? So we use the same principle here. So you might have a bottom heavy system. So you can play like with a low block, low line engagement, like a bit like a Catenaccio. But then you have attacking roles. Right? So you put attacking roles in there. Right, so now you've got wingers who are waiting to explode. Remember Wales in the Euros a few years ago, right? They played some. I don't think they're using a 4-1-4-1, but they had these transition breaks, right, where the ball will go out to the winger because they all drop in a super low line, but they didn't run around. They just made it hard for the other team to play the game, right? And then when they got the ball will just go out immediately to the flanks, right, and towards this guy. So what happens is you do this. So if I wanted to do this, distribute quickly. And then, where is it? Where's the other instruction? Oh, distribute to area, distribute to flanks. So if I want to do like a Catenaccio, but I want to do a low block, and then I want to hit teams on the break, this is exactly how I set it up. Right, so all I do is just hit them on the flanks and they just go running, right? And yeah, are very defensive, and then we just hold our position. Okay, what about all these other instructions? Prevent short goalkeeper distribution. You can use it in any setup. You can use a low block, mid block, and you can have prevent short goalkeeper distribution. But you have to think about the number of players you have, right? Okay, now, typically I'll tell people not to use it in a low block because this is a bit more tricky. I normally, if I'm playing like this, and I'm setting up a mid block like this, right? This a whole lot of positions. I might go prevent short goalkeeper distribution because I just want these three to harass the defenders when they're playing the ball out from defense. One of these will join up, but it means that the rest of the players aren't very far away. They're not very close to them. So what we have like a split press, a group of players pressing and another group just waiting, so that they force the opposition to lose the ball. So the idea here is you're trying to force them into losing a ball, but you're getting the rest of your team to stay in a mid block and a standard defensive line. So that's the way I would, you can set it up. Okay, now here we got step up mode. Step up mode just means that you might trigger an offside trap. Players are going to try and close down the space, so you might see the players moving up to try and win the ball. Drop off mode just means that your vertical compression falls with the opposition. So it just means this one squeezes play. This one just holds that compression and it moves down the pitch, right? So certain tactics I use it quite a lot. Like if I were to play the Holy Grail, I actually drop off more now. So as I lose the ball, they drop and they go down the pitch. All right, next, I'm going to cover the instructions first, just in case people might not. I know some of you probably know this because you read my book already. Trap inside, trap outside, I don't bother. I don't bother. I never. I tell you why trap inside is not trap inside and trap outside. I don't bother. When you trap inside, right? Okay. Let's say you're on a trap outside. What it does is kind of players kind of open up the space down the flanks. So they all like, come, they squeeze up, they squeeze the center up, and then you get these players running down the flanks. It also means that you need players there to defend it. Right. So it opens out a lot of space and it breaks up the shape a lot about the tactics I make. So I stopped using this. I generally just use a wise now. And then stop crosses, invite crosses is basically quite simple. They'll just let the players come in. Invite crosses, they let the players come in, including the wingers, and then they'll let them cross the ball. But stop crosses, the wingers will try and help you to prevent them from crossing the ball. Something to bear in mind, especially if you play. I normally play stop crosses in almost all cases when I have inside forwards on attack, because I want the inside forwards to come back and help us stop those crosses from coming in. So this is something that will help you if you're using inside forwards on attack. Alright, we've covered everything very, 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 very quickly. Alright, that was a lot of stuff. Okay, that was quite a lot of stuff that we covered. All right, so now I'm gonna drop that. We're not dropping that per se, but what we're gonna do now is we're gonna create a tactic, right? So we've got the tactic creator. So let's talk tactics, right? Let's use the tactical creator to make a tactic. Okay, just any tactic, right? So we're gonna clear this, and I'm gonna make a tactic that is meant to be used against top sides. That means a top side is coming to me. I'm expecting to be defending most of the time. And I just want to make sure that we are hard to beat. Okay, so let's try and create one. We use this. So when you go to the tactic tester, you got 4 teams here. So elite is what I'm trying to do well in, and then got balance, average, and underdog. All right, so let's create a simple tactic. Why don't we use this then? I don't know what tactic this is. All right, we'll just go advanced forward here. We'll go a winger on attack here. Then we'll play advanced playmaker on support for fun. Then we'll play like a wingback on support, a DM, a wingback on support. We'll put a ball playing defender here. No, white center back on defend. We'll play a white center, but let's not be so cowardly. Okay, we got here. We'll play a white center back on support here. And then we play a ball playing defender on cover. And we'll ask this guy to dribble more. Okay, so we want him to push the ball up. And that's why we got all these guys up here. We're gonna remove this. We're gonna be more disciplined. We'll play on a slightly higher tempo. We'll not waste time with slow pace, not slowing pace down. We'll do this counter, and I'll keep it simple. We'll distribute to the flanks. And then we'll play a standard defensive line with a mid block, and then we'll try and draw this team in, and then we'll squeeze the play inside this area. Let's step up more. No, we won't. We'll just leave it unchecked. Keep it simple. So we're creating a simple tactic. Okay. All right. So that's all. Let's do this. Okay. So now we got this player. I just want him to mark tight. He'll mark any opposition players tight. So we want him to take more risks and dribble more. Why am I doing this? It's a counter-attacking tactic. You give him advance for attack, dribble more, take more risks. He's going to try and break offside taps all day long. Okay, so you might see a lot of offsides, but we don't have a lot of options. We are very defensive. So we got mark tight here. So here, I'll just tell him to mark a bit tight. So when the opposition players come, I want them to mark them tight. All right, now we're going to tell these guys to stop crosses. So this is it. It's just a simple tactic. Roaming playmaker, DM on defense. We got all these players here. We just created a simple tactic, right? So let's save this. I don't want to save it here. This is mine, right? Okay, all right. 5, 2, 3, counter. No hope. All right. Just for the fun of it, right? How do you set up a tactic when you use a possession 4-2-3-1 but want to be more cautious against the big teams? That will set up balanced. I will play with a balanced mentality. Short. I'll keep my passing on short. Standard passing, actually. Standard passing. And then that's where I would begin, right? You want to be more, that's how I would. I'll just change the mentality first, not change the whole tactic, because your tactic is good. I wouldn't use like pass into space, but a lot of it depends on the tactic itself. Like you got to think about, you always got to think about your roles and how they're defending. Like here, okay, we're creating a defensive tactic. I want these guys to drop in, right? And defend the areas. But when we get the ball, I want them to bring it out. So we have got a lot of, we got AP here. I just want him to hit the, I don't even know whether the AP is going to work, but yeah. So we just want him to try and create chances. We got Raspadori here. We got another roaming playmaker here who might try and play passes from the back. Yeah. You what? So we're just making something very simple, right? So we put it here. Let's save this tactic. What do I call this? I don't know what I call this, man. What do I call this tactic? 5-2-3 counter no hope. Okay. 5-2-3 counter no hope. Okay, so now we've done this, right? So go to the other side. The other manager. Just load the same tactic in. Alright. And then we quick pick. If you want to be very specific, go into the game and then do things like the rest of the stuff, like, choosing your players specifically, because sometimes you want to create tactics like a generic roles, right? I will always force the AI to pick the same players all the time. Now I've got a few tactics with generic roles. So load 5-2-3 counter no hope. So we loaded all this, pick the players again. Now, once you do this, right, the first time you got to save it straight away. Okay, so we're going to call this counter no hope. Okay. Now, let's go and see preferences, right? So this is a very quick way of testing it. Okay, so preferences, I want to see what my data is. Where do I put it? Is it match? Yeah, 300. Okay, MB. All right, okay, so what we do next is we come in here. Okay, you can go holiday for the whole season. All right, we can do this if you wanted to, right? But I just want to see how the tactic does maybe after 10 games. Right, if it's decent enough, you should see some interesting results coming out from the Elite League. So these are the dog. So we'll just holiday until, say, I think there's a good number of games, right? Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. What's the league? How many leagues? They got 10. So 15 should be an easy number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's go 16 here. 26th of November. So we go holiday until like 27th of November. Then we go to November 27. Set. Then we go. The next one, we do the same thing here. I would recommend checking to see your tactics loaded. If you want to be specific about the players, go ahead. Set up opposition. In fact, when I do my tactics, everything is in opposition instructions. Very specific. But we haven't set up opposition instruction. We haven't even done like what is it? What was that? Set pieces, right? So no, we're just testing the tactic out. Naturally, once I use the specific players, it will be a different tactic. It will perform differently. So now another one here for holiday. And I will set it to November 27. It should be enough. A goodly number of matches, and then we will see the effect. And then I can answer your questions. I noticed there are quite a number of questions. Okay, so we go to November and 27, and there we go. So I can answer the questions while we wait. Okay, so let's see from the top. A lot of questions came in. Hey, you want one thing and one thing only, the winter update, most likely tomorrow. Yeah, and last few years they've been releasing the winter update close to the time when they don't normally raise it in the morning, right? So they raise the update somewhere around 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK. Yeah, so just after lunch. Sometimes it's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, depends. So I would start. I wouldn't be playing, and I wouldn't start a new save soon. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What's the problem? Okay. Okay. More of you guys are chatting. Okay. I have an incredible 424. Or you don't always get the goals needed. Yeah. If you don't get, most important thing is when you don't get the goals needed, you got to look at the XG that you're creating. Like last time when we played, last time you saw me play with Birmingham, you saw my tactic was creating a 4 XG a game. right? And 6 clear-cut chances per match. So definitely the tactic is strong. It's just that I don't have. If I had Erling Haaland, Rafael Leao, and Mohamed Salah in my tactic, I think we would have ripped teams apart. So yeah, so it depends. If you have the players for it, why not? Alright, we started. You see the number of matches we played. Right? Elite fixtures we haven't done, but 2-3, 2-4. So I would sometimes stop. No, when I see these results, I will go like 10, 15 games to see whether this tactic actually holds out. Is it doing a decent job? You see another one, Chelsea. It didn't work, right? So it's not doing very well. So I would use this kind of a test, right, to see if my tactic is decent. See, I'll probably sometimes I see 5 games and I don't like it, I stop straight away. In the Elite League, I thought the first couple of games not so bad. Tactical familiarity also plays a part, so it takes time for your players to come to terms with the tactic. So normally I will test the tactic out for maybe about. I make a lot of tactics, so the normal time it takes is about, I would say, 30 minutes if you're good at making a tactic, and then sometimes it could take you a day, right? You're trying different permutations. What we're going to do is we're going to analyze how this test went, and then use that analysis to go out there and build other tactics. Improve this tactic. Okay, I like some elements in the Holy Grail that I really wanted to use. You've been using very defensive, smashing teams 4s and 5s. Yep, exactly. I think very defensive with great mentality. I don't think, I for one, don't normally play on positive anymore. I rarely play on positive now. I'm usually playing on counter, attacking, positive if I'm not so sure, right? If I want to, I normally play on positive when I want my team to keep the ball. I want to suss the team out, yeah. Oh, okay, let's see other questions. Quick question, everyone. Will this live stream be available on YouTube as well? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it will be available. Once the stream is over, you should be able to view the live stream again. Back. I mean, yeah, it's always available. I like running the defense of bottom heavy systems. It takes time for players to get into it. Yep, that's true. Bottom heavy systems also, I like to have a few attacking duties that can carry the ball through. Yeah. Okay. If these wingers have marked tight instruction, will they affect the initial position when going on attack? Yeah, exactly. That's why we're going to try and find out. Yeah, because what will happen is that they are closer to the opposition players, right, when they have the ball. But when they have the ball, not when you have the ball. When you have the ball, they're not marking the opposition players tight. How would you set up a side that attacks in a 2-3-5 and defense in a 4-4-2? Then I will play inverted wing backs. Yeah, that's the only way you can do it, right? So you have to play with inverted wing backs. You got 2 inverted wing backs because then you have 2 defenders, right? Then your center pack, you got players running into the final third. So that's how you got to do it. You got to play 4-4-2 with 2 inverted wing backs. The moment you want to defend in a 4-4-2, you look at starting with a 4-4-2 shape first. It's usually the easiest way to do it. But if you start with some other formations and some other shapes, you don't always get a 4-4-2 shape. So that can be a problem. Yeah. So once again, we want to see how this tactic does after midway through. Right. Normally, what I would recommend is, of course, playing it for the entire season, because on the elite leagues, normally you will lose about 7 or 8 games. Yeah, 7 or 8 games you might lose, but you should be able to get a good result. But elite, this is just pure counter. This is just a tactic against big teams. It's different. If I wanted to create a similar shape for any other team that I'm playing against, right? So maybe against teams like at similar level than me, I would definitely be a bit more attacking. Right? I'll have roles that I won't be playing with that low line of low defensive line. I got so many wingbacks on support. I mean, you see me play. When I got 3 defenders and 1 DM, my wingbacks are sent forth to conquer. I don't keep them back, right? So, yeah, that's important to remember. All right, so we're reaching almost, we've not won a lot, right? So they've still, they say elite, we're not bottom. 8 out of 10. Not so good, but we'll have to improve this tactic. So what we're going to do is we're going to try this, improve this one tactic and try and see whether we can make it crack. We're going to crack the egg. Okay, so you can do this with any other tactic, but we chose to go the route where we've gone the direction of a formation that I haven't been playing a lot with. I like back three systems, but I haven't specifically used this particular shape a lot. I've used three defenders, 2 wingbacks on attack, 2 DMs, but more like a central attacking thrust down the flanks. Okay, we're gonna make a few more. So coming up to the 19th. Is it 19 or 27? I think it's one of those days, right? So Real Madrid at the top. So we lost to Bayern at home, we lost to Juventus away, but I noticed the away matches is quite narrow. A lot of the away matches, like scorelines or 2-1. Let's see what happens to Real Madrid. Probably a big ass defeat. This tester does not account for tactical familiarity. It shouldn't, and injuries as well. You might get injuries, so it's meant to be as realistic to the game as possible, right? So that we get a scenario that is something that you might encounter in a game, not something that doesn't exist. Like for example, I don't believe a tester should zero out tactics or make everybody the same, because those conditions never exist, right? So when are you gonna find a team that's got all the same attributes fighting against another team that's got all the same attributes? It doesn't. Those don't exist, right? So you can't make everybody's attributes the same and then go and say that this is the best tactic. No, that simply doesn't work. So when I look at this, if I look at this as a result, right, I'll just bin the tactic, right? This is just a crap tactic because it's supposed to have done well here, right? So you can see it didn't do well. It conceded -12, right? Hey, of course, we know that it's not going to do well here or here or here. So it against team. So this tactic, basically, as far as we are concerned, is a complete waste of time, right? Okay, so what we want to do is now make a slightly different version of this tactic. Okay, so let's go. So maybe I'll just drop it down to very defensive. Let's get even more psychotic. Okay. All right, we'll keep this. I'll go into a low block now. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. We're just trying stuff out. Wing back on attack. Now we want this guy to be a different role. Okay, so we'll go inside forward on attack. Okay, wing back on support. We'll go wing back on attack. Just go wing back on attack. This guy is a winger on attack. White center back. We'll get this guy to be a white center back on defense. So he comes this way and holds that position. Roaming playmaker looking to release the passes. We got pass into space added now. Okay, so this is the second version. So low block less often. So now it is counter hope. Second version, right? So we save this tactic right now. I just want to remember how badly we did. Okay. We did terribly this tactic. Oh my god, this is horrible. Can't make a tactic to save your life. So you only got 14 points. Okay. All right. This is why we call bin the tactic. Okay. We're binning this tactic. So we go to Total Tactics. On tester, where is it? There we go. All right, we'll go this counter. Load game. Counter test 2. No, sorry, idiot. Load this. Oh, sorry, excuse the cough, man. And once again, ignore these 2 buttons. Crash create OK. Come in here now. Go in here. Load. Counter test 2, right? Done exactly the same things. Okay. All right, we got ball playing defender. He's kicking out. More discipline to get done. All right, we're gonna go to tactic. That's the 2 tactic load. Counter no hope. Quick pick the team. Ideally, you want to pick the right players, but never mind. We're not gonna do that. Then load. You go to counter no hope again. Repeat the same thing again. Go back to this guy. Go to tactics. Counter no hope. Okay, so we done all this, right? So bang. So we got all this done. We come in here. Once again, you have to do this part. No, save the game as a different file name. Okay, we haven't started yet, so I can save it as a different file name. Counter. I saved it as the original file name. Oh, I'm in trouble. Okay, so same date, which is 27th, right? So we chose 27th. November the 27th, we'll go in here. Holiday until there. I mean, ideally, once again, repeat myself one more time. Proper test is the whole season. In fact, it should only take you, depending on your rig, right, 20 minutes. Most rigs will take computers about 27 minutes to simulate. Some machines, it might be even faster. Yeah. But I think the average time for most computers will be 20 minutes rather, not 27. Okay, one more holiday, come on. Quick. Yeah. I want to thank Stick Piano for updating it. I mean, I created the initial save last year, but I see the boys at Total Tactics Discord, they're doing it on their own now. That's the whole idea behind me. It's like, is this how I used to create tactics? You know, people go like, Dalji, how do you create all your tactics? You got so many tactics. How do you test them? This is how I do it. I used to do it, but it wasn't with the edited database. I used to do it like, you know, I have 4 computers. I used to have 4 freaking computers doing the same damn test over and over again. I used to play. Then after that, I finish. Then I had to repeat the test. No, then I have to find 5 teams of a similar standard and play the damn thing again like 50 times. And I used to do a lot. And I realized, isn't there an easier way of doing this? I spoke to some guys who could come up with custom databases and explain to me, if you have an idea, we'll try and put it in. And they did it on their own. So I'm very happy with what they've done. They've done a phenomenal job. So it's very easy now. Let's go back to the questions. Got any more questions? You must don't know. Oh. How would you set up a site that attack or try to answer that question? Really good video. What video? This, you mean the stream here? Okay. This is the balance league. Don't get excited. You see the balance? That's balance only. That means in this league, all right, this is an actual league where all the teams is meant to reflect a composition of a typical league in Europe, where you have 2 favorites to win the title, 2 underdogs or 3 guys at the bottom who are gonna be, you know, teams that you're gonna slap around, and the rest of the teams are similarly matched. Okay, so that's how it's supposed to be divided. So this balance. So if you win, if you're top of this league, it means your tactic is good, right? So if you're top of this league, it means that your tactic is a good tactic. So you only need to make minor changes to your tactic after that. So the first one we did, we were nowhere near. We were nowhere near the top. Because you have to remember, what did I do wrong in the tactic? I don't know if you guys noticed. I put an AP on the flanks. Now, if you put an AP on the flanks in a counter-attacking tactic, what happens? He's going to hold up the ball looking to pass the ball to somebody, right? Now, he's out on the flanks. So a lot of it depends on him. So you should not play him on a support duty. You should actually play him on an attack duty. So he attacks the lines with the ball too. So you should never play him as support. So when I did that, I inadvertently created a situation where he could lose the ball to a trigger press. We didn't need to go into the game to identify. But my recommendation is sometimes you go into the game to see how your tactic has performed, right? So what you should do is you go into the game and go like, okay, why did my tactic not play well? So you go and look at the highlights. There's the data hub that you can use, and you can use that information to improve your tactic. Wow, you got a fireplace? Wow, you guys are so cool, man. I think over in Asia, the concept of a chimney and a fireplace, not that common. We've got houses on sticks. Out on the water, we call them kelongs. Then we got people who, actually, it's very cool. No? There's an entire race of people that live on the water. Right? They've got their homes on stilts in the water, and they actually spend a lot of the time swimming in the sea to sustain their life, sustain for sustenance and for trade. And scientists have gone there to understand them a bit more, because they have incredible lung ability. They can stay underwater for a long ass time, and people like me go underwater like 3 minutes already. These guys can go underwater, and can stay underwater for 6 to 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. No, they don't need a diving gear. They just go to the bottom, Ding, 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 happy, 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 go, take, and then come up. And these are kids, man. Remember that we are looking for it to improve on the 17 points that we gained in the elite. We're not comparing to the Balance League. We just want to test it in the Elite League. Yeah, so we're trying to get it there. Last year, I think, okay, to put things in context, last year, out of the 40 tactics I had created, only 2 tactics were able to win the Elite League and everything else. Only 2. One was a 4-4-2 and the other was a 4-1-3-2. Only 2 tactics. Yeah. So sometimes it's very hard. So don't knock yourself on the head if you go like, oh my God, I cannot win. You know. No, don't. You just, if you're starting and you want to test your tactic, just make sure it tops the Balance League, because that's a typical league. Then you look at the average league. The average league is where all the teams are about your same standard. So if you see that you're not doing well in the average league, it just means that your tactic can't play well against teams of a similar stature than you. So if you're like you typically are fighting for a top 7 finish, right? You're fighting for the 7th position. So all the teams around you, right, they can beat you with the tactic you're playing with. Yeah. Sometimes I've got people coming up to me going like, oh, I hate the game of Football Manager because I find it's buggy as hell. You know, how can my tactic do badly? Got the best players in the world. Then when I tell them to use the tactics tester, you can find out if your tactic is any decent. Yeah. So you're going to use this to learn. 14 in Elite and like -12 GD, correct? Yeah. So, okay, what is a good tactic then? Balance League, if you can win the Balance League with anything higher than 50 GD, your tactic is solid. So you win Balance, you win Underdog, and you win the Average League. You win all 3, it means your tactic, you don't need to change it. No, only when you're meeting sides that are bigger than you might want to, okay, I might have to come up with a strategy. Then what you do is you can try the strategies out here on this, or it could be just your tactic doesn't play well against certain formations. So you can have a chance to try and find out with this, right? Have you tried to make a Will Still inspired tactic? Oh no, I don't even know who Will Still is. I thought as I was reading your message, right, Olaf, I heard that Daljit, have you tried to make a will? I didn't read the rest, no. So I said, we're talking about will. Who am I willing everything to? Yeah, I've been talking to someone about it. But then I went, oh, it's the rest of the thing. I've reached an age where I better have a will. My last will and testament. Been preparing a will, man. Yeah, I don't want to. I grew up in a family where I've had this drama over estates and all that for too long. I mean, I grew up and then there was all kinds of drama when my grandfather passed away. I don't want that to happen to my family. So my grandfather was loaded, man. Yeah, he was one of the richest men in Singapore. But then when he passed away, he gave the money to instead of giving it to everyone, he gave it to only a few people. And then so there was a lot of drama. So they started sending robbers and gangsters to our house in India and all that. So we actually have these bandits coming to the house, you know, with guns and stuff. And then so things got really bad, and then they were upset. And then so but I was only about 16 years old then. So family got together, my dad got together, did the smartest thing ever. We're gonna give all the money away to charity and give it to all the people who live on the land. So they all become their own landowners. Okay, slight improvement, but not that much, right? Although it did better here, it did terribly against underdog tactics. So teams that are just as weak as you is not creating many chances. Average. Okay, so we know it's just an improvement, but I mean now it's a bit more balanced in the sense that we're getting some decent results here. Okay, here against the elite, we won 4 games. We beat Liverpool at home. We beat Atletico Madrid at home. We beat Barcelona at home. We beat Juventus at home. That's not too bad. There's some decent sides. Let's look at the defeats, right? So I would typically go in here and look at the elite because I'm only interested in making a solid elite tactic. Okay, so Atletico Madrid 2-2, 2-1, 1-0. Not bad, 0-0. I mean, narrow. Liverpool 5-2 away. Okay, it didn't create too many chances, but the XG is good, man. 1.62. So one is penalty, one is we could look at the data. We could also look at this. Okay. How do you get? Just download it from the Total Tactics. I don't know. Okay, anyway, you guys don't. Some of you may not have the links, right? I have to try and give you all the links. Hold on. I'll pop the link into the chat right now so that if you guys want to, I'll give it to you. I just have to go and get the invite for you guys because I haven't done this. I mean, the last time I did it was a dedicated video for them. Now, let me see if I can get invite. Where is it? Welcome, Matt. How you can do this and get invite people? Does it still work? Hidden use copy button. Your invite link expires in 7 days. Okay, all right, that'll be fine. Okay, so I'm putting it here so you guys can. There we go. Yeah. Oops. Okay, that's the Discord. So you get an invitation to the Discord. Once you get invitation to Discord, you have to get verified. After you get verified, then you can go and download the stuff. Yeah. Downloads the tester here. So let's look at the pass combinations, right, for Elite. Not very good. Build up, not very good here. So you can see that they're struggling in this area of the game. Right. So the other things we can do is we can come to the data hub. And then look at this. Okay. Their expected goals is 2.14. They're giving away a lot of chances at the back. Right. So we need to fine tune this tactic a bit more. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna push this up higher. We're gonna go into a mid block. Okay, just leave it like that. I'm going to step up more. Now I'm going to squeeze the space. Here. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3. This guy going up, this guy coming up, winger, inside, forward. Oh, all right, what we're going to do is wing back on support so he doesn't bomb forward. We'll get this guy to be a winger on support. Okay, but this guy becomes a fulcrum. Now I'm going to add focus play. Okay, so I'm going to add a focus play to this direction because a roaming playmaker, winger, wing back. We could also, like maybe if you wanted to do an inverted winger. So now we got a really creative fulcrum here. Right, so roaming playmaker. Now we got to change his role to a halfback. He's a bit more aggressive to defending this area. He might drop in here and help us defend a bit more effectively. Right, so we got white centre back is going to give us a natural overlap here. Focus play slightly higher tempo. Pass into space, be more disciplined. I'm going to remove this. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to shift this all the way to balanced. That's the tactic. Right. So we come in here and we do this again. Yeah, it's trial and error, right? So we just trial and error. And we go back into the game, load game. I think we can use the last one that we used. I think, can we use this 23rd November? This 13th July. Okay. In July should be fine. So once you have to load it like this and then you'll be fine. The tactics again, this is counter no hope, right? So we load counter no hope. Okay, then we go to the next guy. Tactic. You can actually test different tactics, no? Okay, what we'll do is we give counter no hope these guys, right? Okay, for the Elite League, we'll give him tactic, no, this league, right? We go to the balance league, we give him something else. Okay. So balance it will be a bit more aggressive. Okay, we'll play like this. Standard defensive line. We'll be more aggressive. Prevent short goalkeeper distribution. Step up more. Stop crosses. Distribute to flanks. Counter press. No counter. Okay, distribute to we want to draw out these teams and then hit them on the break. Play our defense and then pass out a space. Okay, and then distribute to flanks will be a kick. Distribute the fullbacks and centre backs. They'll play out from the back to these guys and then they'll carry the ball up the pitch. All right. Okay, so now we create a second tactic, counter no hope. This is a more balanced tactic, right? Okay, so we create multiple versions of the same tactic, right? So balanced here. So this is, then we go to average. We give them the same tactic. So we only got one tactic for the Elite League. So this is how I would test it. Okay, then we go to the last one, the underdog. Again, we load this counter no hope balance. Okay, done. So we got now this tactics are done, right? So we save the game as a counter. And we rest. And we holiday to choose November. So if you want to make just one tactic, yeah, fine. You can do all these kind of things, for what? Tomorrow the patch is coming out, right? You think you want to come up with a dream tactic? You can try now. I'm telling you that you are most likely to find that your tactic could still work, no? Tomorrow. Of course, I've already tested mine out on I've already tested mine out, and mine are definitely ready for the patch. Yeah. Because I don't aim to win everything, right? So I normally aim to win the balanced league and the average and the underdog league. That's the only leagues I'm after. The elite league, I know that the tactic will need changes. So I usually, when I'm playing against the elite teams, that's when I'm thinking about the changes I need to make. I'm usually doing it in the game itself. All right, there we go. You joined last year but never used it. Yeah, I know. You don't have to use it. You don't have to use it. You don't have to use the tactics tester if you don't want to. But I sometimes find that sometimes you might get really frustrated when you're playing the game. How many of you get frustrated? I get frustrated all the time. Sometimes I do get frustrated. I get like, what the f- is going on? I keep losing. That kind of thing can happen, right? Then you don't know if it's a tactic or the player. Okay, I'm removing the player equation from your head now. I'm giving you, this team has got decent players. So we've removed the player equation. It's going to be a tactic then. All right, so right now when we look at the tactic, went to the data, what did it tell us? Too many chances are being given to the opposition. So we moved it and we now got one for them and we got one for the other guys. And we're going to see how this second tactic does against the rest of the teams. Bayern Legends versus Liverpool Legends 5-5-5. That's because they agreed before the match started that they will all have 5-5. Will Still is a young manager who's doing amazing at Reims in France, giving the big boys trouble and strife. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. It's okay. I mean, can happen. Like a lot of managers are doing that, I guess. Right? There's some managers giving a few people I'm just easy can be easy. Yeah, I don't have time. I mean, I would love to find out more. Yeah, when you have kids, there are monsters, and a wife, and like at the moment there is a anniversary party to. This weekend is our anniversary is actually officially today. Officially today is our anniversary. I gave her the anniversary present yesterday. And this weekend, dinner, because she doesn't have time to do it during the weekdays. And I wanted her to come with me to the Muse concert. But then she's not into Muse. If I take her to the Muse concert, it's only for me, Yeah, that's why I can't get anyone to go to see Muse with me, man. Yeah. First and second season, Bayern won the league. Third season, I ended on par with them on 91 points with Frey, but they beat me to league with 1 goal difference. That's painful, man. But you're playing in a very good league, no, Olaf? Because you are playing in a league where there's one very dominant team and you've managed to bring another team up the tiers. You see, what you're going to have to end up doing, right, over time, is to come up with a strategy for you to take on the big teams. What do? When you need to go for a goal. Like, this is where sometimes in a game, like I think you guys saw me play yesterday, right? You saw that my first tactic at wingbacks. And then I knew that we needed to score a second goal. So I started pushing even more, right? So I started getting more and more aggressive. I started attacking them more, and I had wingers at the end of the day, and I was attacking them even more. And ultimately, we had a 4.8 XG with 6 clear cut chances. Sometimes you just get unlucky, man. Yeah. Sometimes you're just unlucky, and then you just have to find the right players. But if you have the system you done already, then it's okay. Yeah, I don't think Football Manager makes you a great manager on the pitch. I don't think so. I could probably put myself in a position where I could influence people into buying a football club. I could probably do that. And then because look, when you go from League One to Championship, right, it's a 5-fold increase in value. No? So if you invested 20 million in your club, you go from League One to Championship, your club's value goes from 20 million to 100 million just from promotion alone. So you think that we can't pitch that as a value proposition for people who have a lot of money? Of course you can, right? But the thing is this, right? I don't think playing Football Manager gives you that. I mean, playing Football Manager definitely makes you understand there's a lot of elements involved in running a club. How important data analytics could be, how important it is for players to gel, how important it is for a system to, how important it is to find players that can play to your system, that kind of thing, right? But ultimately, you still need people around you who are tactically sharp, right? Tactically up here, they're sharp. Then you also need people that can do your analytics for you. So there's more to it, I guess. Yeah. So tomorrow, I think when the patch comes out, it could be quite an interesting day for all of us. Yeah. It'll be quite interesting for all of you to see whether your tactical systems. I think a lot of you guys are going to have decent tactical systems. Right? Like these 5-2-3s, I don't think they can top any league. They're not world beaters, right? They're not world beaters. You probably will need to configure a 5. If I wanted to create a tactic that can drive holes into teams, right? It will be a 5-2-1-2. Yeah, that will do well. So we're coming up with this and seeing how it does. Okay, so far it looks a bit promising. It's third. Okay, it's not bad. It's third in the league. It's doing quite well against a lot of teams. But let's see, this the one that we made now is doing better against teams that are on par with us, right? And I think it's going to do well against underdog sides, right? So now it's a question of how it performs against other teams. See, top teams now is just coming close. Now 1-2. You're moving on to Arsenal. Wow. Okay, that's going to be good. They're playing with Arsenal. Arsenal is going to be fun. Hey, Arsenal is going to be. I still think. I think they managed to get what's his name? Bukayo Saka, right? To extend his contract. Yeah. Can you test a 4-1-4-1 counter attacking tactic? We'll just do this final test. And this is how I would test it. Now after we create another tactic and do another tactic. Yeah. We have time. We have time. I mean, we've got another hour or so to go. You got a whole A4 page of notes so far. You're geeking out. I know there are guys right now who only don't play Football Manager anymore. They play the Football Manager tactics game. They tell me all they do is they try to create a tactic that beats all the leagues. That's it. That's all they want to do. I'm like, what the hell? You don't want to play the game? No, I'm just doing this. I'm like, okay. I didn't know. Okay, that elite tactic did worse now. But this other tactic is a lot better. It beats the teams that are weaker. So this tactic right now that the other teams are using, right? This version is smashing all the teams that are weaker. Right? So it's smashing any team that's weaker. Right? So it smashed all of them. 0. GD was okay. I mean 24 after this, that's promising. Okay. We didn't finish the test, we only played 16 games. And then in the other leagues, I don't think it did very well. The tactic we created for counter-attacking just got smashed. Right? Didn't do well at all. But in the average league, it was pretty close. Right? It's pretty close. It did well in drawing, so it just needs to be a bit more attacking, right? And get a few more wins, and it'll be solid. So I think the final version of this tactic would probably be something a bit more aggressive. We'll add this guy to come in here. This guy is attacking the space, slightly more drop. I think we keep the tempo up. Oh yes, of course. Go fairly wide. This will be the last version of the tactic. From this point onwards, when you want to test your tactic, you've done the basics already. You know, most of the stuff is already done, right? So it's just a matter of just adding a few, tweaking a bit more. You can even go the positive mentality. Probably we'll keep a positive. Probably wouldn't do it, but balance so we can hit the teams. But let's look at our elite tactic, right? Our elite tactic here just got smashed. Okay, so probably let up too much space. Okay, because it performed even worse than other tactics, right? So go back to this, step up more. We could drop off more now. So they keep going. No, we keep going deeper and deeper. It's not going to help. Okay, so slightly more direct passing and higher tempo. Distribute to the flanks. Did we play our defense? Yeah, we just to play our defense, draw the stronger teams to us, and this is how it probably set up. Maybe here roaming is not so good, so we'll play a DLP on support, so he stays here, and then he holds his position. Now we got wing back who can attack this flank, so he goes around the inverted winger. Now the inverted winger is an option because there's a natural overlap happening here. So what we'll do is during the transition phase, the ball goes up here, and then we can get a diagonal attack this way. So this one would definitely be something that I would play. And then from here, it's a case of just, we can maintain the same tactic and probably use it, shifting up the block, increasing the trigger press, right? Just increase the trigger press a bit more. And you can actually shift the block up and become a bit more attacking and play against weaker sides. Yeah, that's it. Not too many changes. Because you notice this tactic, and then we got this, right? Okay, so this tactic, play higher up the pitch, right? So I just shift it slightly higher, stepping up more. Squeeze the space against all the defensive teams. Then when I'm attacking them, keep the ball. So look, this is the only difference between this tactic and this tactic. So we change the role, sorry. We change his role. So DLP on support, wingback on attack. So both the tactics now. So we got against, so I play a low block like this against top sides. They drop in. I try and defend the space, right? And then if I want to hit against stronger teams, it'll just be a case of just shifting to this, where we're playing against like weaker league. I mean, every other game I play, because you don't play strong teams all the time, right? So maybe this, you can do this. So basically, it's just a change of your TIs, keeping the roles the same. So you don't have to change that much. Yeah. No, definitely the patch is going to come out by latest. I believe it's coming out tomorrow. Yeah. I don't see any reason why the patch is going to be delayed. Yeah. I don't think the patch is going to take like it's definitely not coming out next week. It's going to be this week. There's no two ways about it. Okay, let's try and make another tactic, right? Okay, so we got that one. So that's how I would approach it. Okay. So let's try and make another tactic. Okay, so let's try and make a 4-1-4-1. You know, shish kebabs. I got 4-1-4-1 here, but let's not see my 4-1-4-1. I don't know if. Let's see if we have a 4-1-4-1 for the winter patch. There you go, 4-1-4 here. Yeah, there's a 4-1-4 there. So we'll just make a new one. That's all. All right, so okay. Okay, so let's just make a simple 4-1-4-1, okay? All right, so we make 4 midfielders. We have 4 midfielders, 1 striker, 4 defenders, 4 mids. You come here. All right, let's make something 4-1-4-1. Yeah, but I think a 4-4-1-1 would be nicer. Okay, let's try something different. Let's try and make, I'm going to make something very different, okay? Okay, we go halfback. Ball playing defender. Ball playing defender. Inverted wing back on support. Inverted wing back on support. Ooh, shish kebabs. Inverted wing back on support. Let's just try this. And then we got a winger on attack. A winger on attack. This guy comes in here. This guy comes in here. This guy go Mazala. This guy is CM on attack. Halfback comes in here. This guy pressing forward on support. False 9, trequartista, advance forward, deep line forward on attack. Okay, deep line forward on attack. So he holds up the ball. All right, so we're going to play on balance first. We're going to make a tactic that is, we want to remove all the instructions, distribute to the flanks. Yeah, we got quick outs here, and then it goes to the flanks. Minimize the number of PIs, pass into space. We play with a standard defensive line and a mid block. Okay, and then we will zone. We won't over press, meaning I don't want too many players squeezing, doubling up on opposition players. All right, basic 4-1-4-1. All right. All right, now we come in here. We're gonna just leave some of these instructions alone. I want to have this guy dribbling more for the fun of it. This guy dribbling more for the fun of it. Okay, we just want to make a tactic, see what it works, right? So mark tight, Mazzala. Okay, I'll tell these guys to mark tight as well. Center. Okay, this guy take more risk with movement. Okay, that'll be fine. And then this guy also take more risk with movement and move into the channel so you can get in between players. Moving the channels is get into the vertical and horizontal spaces between players. Inverted wing back. Okay, so we don't need these guys. I think this guy can be yeah, we just leave him as a Mazzala support, right? Because I think this inverted wing back will be on defense. Okay, this guy comes in here because these two roles are attacking. This guy can come in support. Maybe what you can do is we'll just yeah, winger. Okay. All right, let's try a winger. Okay. All right, quick pick, and then we go 4-1-4-1 test, right? Okay. This is definitely not the same as the one I created. 4-1-4-1 test. Okay, so we've done this. Go to this league, tactics, put in the 4-1-4-1 test. Where is it? There it is. Quick pick. Go into this league, put in the 4-1-4-1 test. These are all trial and error, man. You just go, I mean, but once I tell you something, right? All the team instructions, you eventually discover all the team instructions are the same for counter-attacking tactics, playing against top sides, and playing. There's going to be common instructions that you use in against different kinds of formations, against different kinds of competition. You'll discover that. Yeah, I recommend this is something that is once you it's easier to, you know, if I will tell you what these are, won't help you very much. I think you should see it. So when you use the tester like this, you will start thinking, yeah, maybe, you know, I want to play against top sides, I want to do this. You'll find that there's a common denominator, which hence the reason why we're doing the new shows with all those diagrams I put up, or rather those quick notes, right? 5-2-2-1 against this formation, I do this. Against that formation, I do that. Yeah, it'll come up. Okay, here we go. 4-1-4-1, right? Okay, let's go. And then we can holiday mode. This is very possession centric, and then this guy holds out the ball. This guy's gonna come up. Maybe I think I think ball into box is actually not bad. Okay, but we want to see how this does as a start. I tell you something, I think the numbers will be slightly better than the 5-back-5. All right, we go 1, then we go 2. Go to November 27, and then we go 3. November 27, done. And then one more. Thank you. And finally, this guy. Yeah, I was either gonna do this, right, or play Baldur's Gate today. I was thinking, right, maybe I want to stream Baldur's Gate, or we can do the Birmingham transfer season close, right? Like we are at the close of the transfer season, man. Yeah. How do you feel, guy, about 3-man playmaker midfield this year? We're working really well. Yeah, I like 3-man playmakers, especially for possession-centric systems. Very nice. I will definitely use yeah, I have used Streamline Playmakers a lot. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be coming out soon. So another thing, does testing take into account opposition? No, I didn't set up opposition instructions. I would recommend you start putting in opposition instructions for your tactics. Yeah. So I didn't put in any opposition instructions to any of the tactics. So you can tell that these are not perfect. So I'm just giving you like a way to test, like how would I test it? Then you can go out there and you can do your own after that. But I will tell you one thing for sure. If you start adding your opposition instructions, you see them performing a lot more different. You see, this method of testing, right? I will guarantee you this much, right? If you follow the approach and you think things through properly, I guarantee you're going to win more matches than you will lose. You will not be frustrated with the game of Football Manager. I mean, provided you can get past the testing the tactics phase. I mean, it can be tiring here if you're creating the tactic. Oh man, why is my tactic? Do not get fixated with the need to win the Elite League. Get fixated with the need to win the balance, the underdog, and the average leagues. Get fixated on that. Once you get fixated on that, I guarantee your tactics will be good. And then what will happen is you have to look at a tactic, 50 goal difference. Aim for that. If you can aim for 50 goal difference, every time you like say you win, because I have one tactic that's got 100 goals, 100 GD, for the balance league. 100 goal difference in the GD. It's just massively score a lot of goals. Yeah. You can. So you'll be fine. You'll be fine, man. You'll be fine. You'll enjoy it. Yeah, SI is another clue that SI, the patch is being released, right? You see SI activity on the forums. You see them online. All you have to look for is the online. How many of the staff are online? So you notice, right? A lot of the staff will be online. Mark my words, right? Then the mods like me start dropping things like memes and GIFs just to annoy people. Yeah, we do that every season. But I probably won't do it this year because I think that it's a bit I'm too old for that already. My wife. I want to spend time with my wife. That's what I want to do the next couple of days. It's anniversary, baby. Who doesn't want to spend time with their wives, right? Yeah, plus my two little monsters. Well, somebody's just introduced something called glamping to me. I don't know what the glamping is. Then, send me this thing. Hey, I want to bring your two sons out for glamping. I'm like, what is glamping? It tells me, we're pitching a tent on the roof of a building. I'm like, dude, we got so much of the outdoors here. Why do we have to pitch a tent outside on the roof of a building? So that's what he's doing. This tactic not doing well against the balance league. That's good. It means you have to make changes. Yeah. You have to make changes. So one of the changes that I will make in this tactic is the opposition instructions. Yeah, definitely. I'll put in the opposition instructions. See, right now in the underdog league, it's stopped. So he's beating all the weaker sides. Yeah, that's not too bad. In the balance league, he's got a few bad results. It's probably down to the fact that when he goes, loses the ball down the flanks. So he needs a bit more support down the flanks. Yeah. Glamping is very popular in Scotland. Wow. I mean, why would it be? Okay, what? Pitching a tent on a building. Partial camping, right? Why? I mean, Scotland of all places, I think you want to go and camp in the outdoors. Enjoy the weather. Pitch a tent. How many of you can actually pitch a proper tent? As in, like, knock it into the ground, do the drain. How many of you can actually do that, man? I traditional camper, no. Nowadays I went camping with my friends. I said, okay, come, let's go and pitch the tent. And then, don't worry, press the button, the tent came up. I'm like, what the is this, man? Shit, this is not camping. The bloody camp got refrigerator all. I'm like, what is this? This is not camping. I want to smell like shit. I want to smell terrible when I'm camping. This one is like, when I look at my friends, say, why you got shower? Is it nearby? As well. It's not my thing, man. It's like glamping. They camp on rooftops, I tell you. Let's go and find it, right? It's like, I don't know, man. Glamping. They camp on a rooftop. Glamping. There they go. This. Yeah, glamping is a glamorous camping. They're glamorous camping. There's camping amenities, okay, resort style services, not associated with traditional camping. So this is glamping, but they're doing this glamping, you know where? They're doing is glamorous camping. Basically, like this, luxurious camping. You go out there, you get this nonsense. You get this, like a bloody room, like this kind of stupid camping. Like, wow, we're going camping. But, baby, it's a roof with lights. You know, the pitch a tent kind of shit. Look at this. Cushions, bloody hell. Look at that. Camping, you can afford to put on shoes and come in, walk and wear skirt. No insects. This is glamping, man. This is fucking glamping. No, my friend. I mean, he wants to go glamping. My brother-in-law wants to bring my two sons glamping. I don't mind, but I want to bring my sons out for like proper camping. I want them to experience it. As in, their first experience of camping is going to be glamping. So I'm worried, man. I'm very worried. I mean, I remember my first camping trip with my friends. There was a competition to see who. Lots of funny competitions you have when mates go camping. Yeah. I had to visit a lot of glamping spots for work. It's ridiculous how, they are so kitted out, man. I think renting a caravan is different. I think renting a caravan is, I don't mind a caravan because caravan is a road trip, right? So you take the caravan, you go on a road, you see this, you see that. That I love. I love the idea of that. Like going to New Zealand definitely is one of the places. Going to the UK as well. You can get a caravan, just drive through, live on a home on wheels. I don't mind that as well. Yeah. Especially when you have kids in tow, right? So it's kind of easier that way. Because if you have small children and I did a long drive. I did the whole Sunshine Coast, Gold Coast drive. That's a fucking long drive, okay? From one end of Australia to the other end of Australia, I did it many years ago. So we brought me, my ex-wife. It was just me and my ex-wife back, no kids then. So we drove. It's hell of a long drive. So, but it's fun. I enjoyed it. But if you bring kids on that kind of drive, finish. So you rent static caravans, okay? Malaysians renting caravans in New Zealand, terrible idea. Yeah, if you want to rent a caravan, my advice, you go to New Zealand, you better be a good driver, no? Oh yeah, this first tactic is, okay, this tactic, what do? Throw it away. Waste our time. No need to talk. This tactic is terrible. Okay? Yeah, this first version of the tactic is absolutely terrible, right? Don't even have to look, no? Okay? What I would do is normally come in here and then what I would do is like, why is it terrible? Okay, I'll show you why. I mean, I jumped straight away and didn't explain to you guys why. -2 GD in this league. This is a typical league that you'll be in. If you get this kind of a score, drop the tactic, start again. Here, 13 goal difference. Lost 5 times to teams weaker than you. Here, 8 times out of the 16 times we played, half the time we can't even beat a team that's at our level. Elite, let's not talk. That's terrible. So we come in here, we go back in here, do the same thing. Find it one more time. Is it here? No, I can't come here. I mean, logically I could just carry on, right? But then I have to remember all the state and all that. Okay, so we come in here, load. I think where's the 4-1-4-1 test? Okay, there we go. Okay, let's make a change. Let's drop this idea. Go wing back on support. Got a halfback pushing up. Mazzala coming in here. Winger on attack. Mazzala coming here. Maybe what we'll do is an underlap on the right. Widest player holding up for runs made right side. Nope, won't work. Okay. Overlap. Nope. Overlap also not a good idea. But here what's good is focus play. Okay, so we do a focus play on the left.
We do a focus play on the right. We play our defense. We keep it standard. Distribute to the flanks. No, we'll keep the ball. Okay, we add the counter press. Distribute to fullbacks. Okay, so we're gonna keep the ball instead of just giving it away all the time. It's apparently not really working very well. And then we'll have a DLF on attack, dropping deep. There's a CM on attack coming this way. With a winger is attacking the area, but we got a winger on attack here. Maybe in this particular case, we'll get a box-to-box midfielder. Okay, so box-to-box, Mazzala going this way, in back, coming here. Mazzala, when he comes in here, they're working together. They'll probably try and create goal-scoring opportunities so that this guy might become a goal scorer. Okay, what we then do is we take this guy, make him into an inverted winger on attack. Right, so he's going to drive in when he gets a chance, right? So he's going to drive into this area. This guy's going to give us the width of the attack. So these two might work together to unlock this position. All right, now this is going to be a more different tactic that we did the first time. It didn't really work, right? So I'm thinking, maybe I should keep the ball because got so many jokers here. So let's just keep the ball. Ask them to run. Dribble a bit more, keep the ball. Move it up the pitch. Notice this wall passes going on. A lot of passes might be going inside and then there's a halfback. He drops in between. Not very helpful, right? And go back out again. So what we'll do is we move it to standard. So we play a standard. So here now we've got all this. Maybe now run a defense, and then do I want to work ball? Maybe we should work ball into box as well because see this guy is dropping deep, right? And we've got wingers. So I think we can afford to move teams around and try and create goal scoring opportunities. Done. So now we've got a different 4-1-4-1. Counter cut. Okay, let's just assume you never know, right? Counter press. This guy halfback might go missing. So I'm not so sure. I'll drop this. We got mid block. This is an aggressive. Let's just make it even more challenging. Because in this group, in this zone, I'm going to be very aggressive. Okay, I'm going to try and win the ball in this area. 2-on-1, 2-on-1. We got halfback, got 4 defenders. It should be fine. All right, so I'm thinking to myself, this could be a different tactic. Okay, so we quick pick and then we go into these leagues and drop the same thing there. Oops, sorry. Okay, let's go back to the first one again. Sorry for my bad nonsense. Okay, now we come in here. Let's add some opposition instructions. Okay, this is a mid block. These guys, not very helpful to press them too early, right? So what we'll do is we just show them inside. When we get to those players, when they come to the pitch, we'll just get them inside. And no point doing this. This guy is a wing back in a back three. The wing backs, most of the time, they are playing in a 4-1-3-2. There are no other wingers. So what we do with these guys, force them to stay on the flanks. Okay, there's a DM. Opposition DM, we're going to tackle him hard. We're going to do this. We're going to time mark. So every time he has the ball, we're just going to put pressure on him, right? So done. So the same applies to any DMs, other DMs that are in the system. But except in this case, we don't have the time mark. There are too many. Yeah, double DMs will be too many. So we just hard tackle them. Okay, wingers, we just want them to deliver crosses all day long. Okay, so that's all. We don't want them cutting inside. Same applies to these roles here. So, all right. And then left, unfortunately, for testing purposes, we're going to have to repeat the whole thing later. Okay, so now weaker foot. Okay, so it's just simple setup. Okay, all right. Then we come into this, and then we go here and repeat the same whole thing all over again. Which is the reason why I don't bother, because I know my tactics will perform a lot better with OIs. Okay, so this guy right, this guy left, this guy everything. We don't want to give these DMs an easy time. Then we come here, cross all day long, cross all day long, cross all day long. I'm not going to bother with the next two. Otherwise, this is a long ass process. Okay. All right, the next two we're not going to bother. Here we come in here, load the tactic, 4-1-4-1 test, ping, quick pick. Okay, we got the balance league. Then we come to this league, do the same thing, 4-1-4-1 test. Where are you? Okay, done. Then we go to this league, and we come to this league, 4-1-4-1 test. The role I probably would play now is a DLF on attack, right? Okay. I think this is the only time I use a DLF. I don't think I was using a DLF in the other tactic that I have. All right, okay, so done. So let's check that everything is done here. Yeah, tactics. Okay, done. So we save this game as 4-1-4-1. You have to save. If you don't save, the older tactic gets over. The older tactic makes a comeback. So you better save. So sometimes I think you need to check to see whether they're using the tactic that you put up. Because I know that if you do sometimes when I'm doing this, okay, and my recommendation is always to start with the clean version, right? What I'm doing here, sometimes it will pick the older tactic that's already there, and then what you could end up having is the test is not accurate. So we know that the first version wasn't that good, so we're just making this version. I think this version will be a lot better. Okay, come on. Just the last one, I can't remember. I know that was quite low on the totem pole. Like damn low, man. Like minus, for me, the moment I see minus goal difference for a balanced league, I'm not interested in the tactic. In fact, I'm not interested in any tactic. It gives me less than 40 GD. Yeah. But I was a scout. I was a scout, man. It's a myth you should not use multiple playmakers. You just have to set up rules around them. Yeah, exactly. I think there were people that were saying you should never use more than one playmaker. I'm like, dude, that's a myth. That's a myth. Again, you can't use multiple playmakers in your tactic. Yeah. The thing is, you want to replicate Barcelona back in the day when they were tiki-taka masters, right? Actually, you have to play on cautious mentality. Then you get a lot of movement and work ball into box, that kind of thing. Yeah, you can even play pass into space if you want. Yeah. It'll be fine. Come to Thailand for camping. I should bring my kids to Thailand, man. My days in the boys' brigade. Outdoor camping, pitching a tent, potato peeling competitions in freezing cold weather, all the smells of countryside and getting grubby and smelly. Yeah, but you come back home stinking, right? And you got to smell. Hey, at least you guys don't get mozzies, no? Mosquitoes and sandflies. We got sandflies and mosquitoes. And the problem for me is, especially in Asia, right? After camping, you attract flies as well because of your body sweat. So, because when you're sweating, a lot of flies come to you. Because flies kind of love the smell of sweat. So you get, and then some people, I get mozzies, but the thing is I'm hairy, very hairy. So most of them die before they get to the skin layer. They get caught in the hair. They go, I'm trapped, and they get stuck there and then they die. You should go before. You're stuck in a room, don't have a home yet. So going away in a caravan. Yeah, caravans. It's a luxury lifestyle. I probably wouldn't. Would like to go on a caravan, but I probably will never end up doing a caravan trip. Probably never. I don't think I'll ever end up on a caravan trip. It's never gonna happen. Yeah. I think nowadays it's more the case of, do I have enough money for my kids' education? That's the thing, right? Every day, the whole thing, only thing I worry about. Yeah. So me and my wife are all about the kids, man. I had 4 days last April in a caravan and the weather was like summer. Oh, that's fantastic. I think I'm one of those guys. My wife knows this about me. I'm one of those guys, right, that will live in a houseboat. She knows that. She knows me very, very well. She's like, she looks at me, right? If you're gone overseas, what will you be doing? I said, I'll be living in a houseboat somewhere in Europe. Because I had a choice when I was about 23. It's a regret in my life. Not working in Brussels, in Europe. So I had a chance to work in Europe. So I could have gone. And when I was thinking to myself, if I go to Europe, I'll buy a houseboat and live on the houseboat. That's me. Then I'll make sure I have enough money for a houseboat. Yeah. I'll save up like crazy for a houseboat. That's how I will live out my life. Yeah. Living on a houseboat. That's it. Down some river, on some bloody river canal. That's gonna be me, man. Yeah. So we want to, whether the houseboat can move is a different story. More like a static boat on a river. That would be me. Yeah. I will be a solo driver. That's it. That's my lifestyle. My wife knows this very well about me. She also told me, right, if I hadn't, do you know that I would never have done Football Manager content if I hadn't got married, no? Because I was at a verge in my life where I almost decided, I was gonna go to Africa and just live out my life in Africa. Let's do community work in Africa. Join some organization, some NGO, and I spend my entire life in Africa. That was my goal. I told my wife that I'm gonna die penniless, broke, but I'll have done a lot of difference. That's why I told my wife that when I got married, I said, I was so close to that line because I've done what I wanted to do in terms of a career, right? So I've done it. So I'm like thinking to myself, I just die anonymously in the land of Africa. That was my goal. Yeah, it's a strange goal to have. I told my friends, very few of my friends know this. Yeah, and they never knew. I'm not suicidal. That's different. Okay, I don't care too much for material things. Yeah, I'm not a material person. Yeah, I just want to do something different. Does stay wider instruction for IF? No, does not work for inside forward. Yeah. Don't even bother putting stay wider on an inside inverted winger. Yeah. Or inside forward can. They'll be wider, they'll be further away. So what they end up doing when they receive the ball, they'll pull the fullback out of position. When you do that, you actually want somebody attacking the center. So you want a Mazzala attack. So you want a Mazzala to be a goal scoring threat. You place the inside forward, asking to stay wider. That way when the inside forward gets the ball, he plays it to the Mazzala on attack or the CM on attack, and you get those third man blind runs. Third man unmarked runs, right? That's how you do it. With a stay wider instruction on the inside forward. Okay. But if you do it to you can't do it to the inverted winger because the inverted winger does not stay wide all the way. He just show course. He'll just do it for a short while, and after that it ends up being narrow again. Yeah, I was gonna live and die in Africa. Was my plan, man. In 2008. 2000 and before, yeah. 2000, because I got divorced. So I was divorced. I was in a dark place, man. I told myself, so I achieved my career. I was thinking to myself, I'm not gonna get married. Shit, this get married, go. No, that's it. So I was gonna pack everything up, walk off to Africa. Yeah, that was my goal. I said, once my mother passes away, that's it. Boom, I'm gone. Nobody will know where I am. Nobody will know what I'm gonna be doing. I'm just gonna work for some NGO in the middle of Africa. Yeah, that was my goal. So far, my wife still doesn't know this, my second wife doesn't know this. But now I got kids. The problem now I got kids, right? I can't really do that. That'd be very, very irresponsible. Because when I got divorced the first time, oh man, I was in a dark place, man. I was in such a dark place. I was like, the world, screw the world, screw this, screw that. That's it. I'm just going to help the rest of the world. Do whatever I can do to, do whatever I can do. Yeah. Yeah, again, I was very deep. I was depressed. I wasn't depressed. I was angry. Yeah, there's a difference between the two. Yeah, definitely not depressed. No, I don't plan to die early, lah. When I was initially when I got divorced, yeah, the thought they crossed my mind multiple times. I was like, I go diving, right? I'm thinking to myself, the deeper I go when I'm diving, I'm thinking to myself, how cool would it be for me to just relax? Drift away, because I want so psychotic. I went to my phases when I got divorced. All right, first tactic. Okay, this is not bad. This is a good tactic. GD is 24. That's pretty decent. Underdog. I mean, I think it would have done better. So this version of the tactic is a lot better, right? So this version is much better, right? Okay, if we tested it for the entire season, I will probably go like, okay, fine, let's keep this. This version of the tactic can stay. Right, so because we got a focus play down the left, focus play down the right, running at the defense, working the ball into the area. Maybe the tempo is slightly higher. I'll drop the tempo slightly. We get a bit more possession centric. We're playing on a mid block. Maybe I hit the pass into space. Yeah, this definitely 100% can work. All right, so I'm gonna create this now. RY4141 2. All I need to do is make a few more changes. Okay. So again, we tested it in the Balance League, right? So Balance League was the one that we used OIs. Right, we had OIs in this league, right? Okay. So it performed a lot better. You can actually go in, and what I would do is normally I go in and just check. Like possession-wise, it's okay. Balance League, 152, created some chances.
Oh, this is not bad, man. Quite a lot. This is a good chance. This is a decent chance. This is a very good chance. There are two very, very good chances. We created two clear-cut chances. You can check from here. At least two. I have one, sorry. But it's not bad. Okay, then I'm going to data up again. Expected goals, 1.92. Expected goals against, 1.8. This tactic is good. Yeah, I would at this point stop, right? I mean, that's just case of just messing about with some of the roles. Let's say maybe, maybe this is like very possession centric. Mazzara comes up half space, wingback coming up. Okay, he's gonna bomb forward. So wingback can pass to the Mazzara, or wingback can go down the line. So maybe give him a bit more freedom. Okay, for passing, take more risks. I could try that. Maybe you can just try a diagonal ball through. Or if I don't want to do that, I just remove this and go pass into space. Right, pass into space can still work well in the box. There's nothing wrong with that. You're just telling your team to play the ball into space. You got players attacking space, right? Right. Just that when you get to the final third, they will still try and pass into space. But now when they get to the final third, there are less crosses. So they'll try and patiently probe and make a change. So this tactic, the first time we made it is pretty decent. Okay, the only problem is this, right? Hey, this tactic actually works. But the problem is, hey man, it doesn't do very well against the top sides. Okay, so let's just try one more version. Okay, so we've got this 4-1 tactic. We just go back, load the game again. This is a life, man. You want to test your tactics, this is what you gotta do. There's no other way around this. So don't, oh my god, you gotta do this all the time. Yeah, but you know how many tactics we created? 3, right? Roughly 3. First one is this is like no hope. This I call it no hope. From the very start, I knew it was a no hope tactic. Okay, all right, brother. Let's go pressing forward and attack, man. You go left, you go right. You don't hold up the ball. Don't wait for it. Don't stop and go. Okay, you just press them and just go left and right, left and right. DLF attack, drop. Nice for possession. Not so good for this guy. Okay, got step up more. Okay, we go standard defensive line against the top sides. Maybe we'll keep this up. Stop the crosses. Focus play down the left. Focus play down the right. Okay, fine counter. Regroup when we lose the ball. Counter. Distribute the. No distribute. Play our defense. Play our defense. Okay. What do I want to do? Plan. Pass into space, right? Okay. No work ball into box because most of the top sides I probably won't be able to afford this, right? So we connect 4-1 test again. And now we go into the next league. Come in here, tactic, load. No, that one bottom, right? That last tactic was bottom. So we come in here, go to this, and then come in here. Where are you? 4-1 here. There you are. Okay, come on. Yeah, come in here. Forward. After this, you know what we're doing? We're going to go to Birmingham, man. We're going to Birmingham after this, okay? After this is done, okay? Because we want to go, I want to do a transfer window, lah. Otherwise, I'll save not moving, no. Thursday is coming soon, man. Okay, wait, hold on. We got to save this. Hey, shit. Fine. Save game as total tactics. 4-1, 2. Whatever. Okay, all right, done. Let's go home. Go on holiday. You know, if it's underdog tactic, right? I'll probably have wingbacks on attack. I'll put wingbacks on attack, both sides. Both attack duties. I'll lock up the middle with support duties and then halfback, right? But both my roles on the right will be on attack duty, and I'll play with the overlap and underlap. That's what I'll do. Again, I want to score more goals against the weaker sides. Exactly how I'll play. But slightly more aggressive. Yeah. Okay, so we go on holiday. Done. Next one. Go on holiday. Bang, bang, bang. November 27. So a lot of these tactics, you just, it's just a case of, there's a lot of logical thinking, when you create these tactics. It's just simple. I don't know. There's no secret, man. You can make your own super tactics. Chances are some of you are probably going to end up making your own super tactics, yeah, or really good tactics. I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if one of you comes up to me next week or in 2 weeks' time and says, Daljit, I created this damn good tactic. You know, use this total. A lot of people have come back to me after using this DB to tell me that. A lot of people. It's helped a lot of people, and I'm happy. I'm happy it's helped you guys out. Call me daft, but I want to walk upright in my home. That's not being daft. That's a goal. How's that daft? For me, actually, what I really wanted was, you know how difficult it is for me to get the desk, right? They can go up and down, so I can stand and stream. That's what I really wanted. But we can't get that here. I've been trying to want to get a desk that auto desk, right? You just press a button, goes and I can stand and stream. Because I don't like to sit down. Yeah. I don't like to sit down and stream. I like to stand and stream. Because when I was working those days, I used to do a lot of my work standing up. I've never sat so much in my entire life behind a desk. I'm always standing doing my work. Yeah. Suddenly I come to streaming and damn it, I will sit down and immediately start working out. After that, I was like psycho where I'm going to the gym every day. You know, I can't handle this, but I don't be a one fat slob sitting behind a monitor screen. Watch me stream. No, I'm not going to do that, man. In no way that's happening. Okay, after this transfer window, guys, gonna check out what's happening with our team. So how many of you have found this? Okay, another question before we go, right? How many of you found this stream useful? How many of you just here just to how many of you found this stream useful? Really, I'm hoping it was useful. I don't think my sense of humor is entertaining enough to hold your attention for long. Unless a funny name pops up, then maybe. We have Florinus. Oh, we don't have Florinus anymore. But seriously, our team could have a semen and a testis in the same team. Why does this always happen on my streams? Testis and semen together in the same freaking team. We're lucky we couldn't get a goalkeeper in. Very useful? Okay, that's good to know. There's just one person. Chico, very useful. Okay, good. Thank you, man. Alright, Birchie also says very useful. Got my notes from the early stream and now going to test my favorite tactic. Okay, good. Hey, 4312 is very strong. It's on my database. But I've created some templates for you to use, right? So my tactics. I think I've covered nearly every formation I could think of. I've done 4312, 442, 442 DM, 4231, 4231 DM, 4141. I didn't do the 4411. That's the only one I didn't do. 352, 532, 5212, 343 DM, 343 DM, 3412 DM, Strikeless. I think I've quite a few tactics for you guys. Yeah. We don't come in because you brought us. Hey, Saud Al Rashid, thank you very much, man. Hopefully it catch my attention for 4 years is decent. Really, 4 years. What do you do for a living outside? I'm retired, man, young Sinatra. I'm retired. I used to work full-time. I was in technology for a long. I was in television and technology, right? So I went from television to technology. I'm about 56 years old right now. I retired at the age of 50. Yeah, 50-something I retired. Then once I got retired, I used my own savings to do streaming. But then I realized I didn't want to. At that point, I was just streaming, just using my savings. And then I decided I was going to quit completely. And then some of you got together because I was already going to leave. I already announced. I did like a soft announcement to my friends. Say, look, I'm not going to stream anymore, that kind of stuff. And then you guys got together in 2016 to encourage me to start Patreon. And you said, if Patreon can sustain you for a while, would you think about it? I said, but I don't want people to give me money. I was dead set against Patreon at first. I was like, no way, man. I don't want people to give me money. It's that people need the money for themselves, right? Then they turned to me and said, what's the difference between giving you money and subscribing to you on Twitch? Then I was like, huh? Yeah, because people are giving money to a guy who's who's on Twitch, right? The same shit. Okay, so they do that as well. They do bits and buy this, and what's the difference?
Just go on Patreon. At least you keep the money for yourself. Then I was thinking, I was like, okay, all right. I took a lot of convincing. Yeah, took a lot of convincing. Initially, I didn't want to. Then, so I started a Patreon, and then that's how I ended up here. So yeah, but Patreon was alright. It's just Discord. Our Discord is I was worried that when we open our Discord, we get the whole world going through. We got a few thousand people on our Discord, but the good thing is it's a close community, right? So that's nice. Like very family, safe environment, no spammers. Oh, I'm so glad, man. Otherwise, you know how much maintenance you got to do to the Discord channel. Spam protection, this, that. And we got a lot of people who be looking after the Discord for me as well. God's Spurs and the rest of the guys. That's good. Yeah, so that's what I do, man. The only reason why I do this stuff is so that I can dump as much of my whatever is in my brain to you guys before I die. That's it. That's the only reason why I did it. And I actually went to SI, you know, when I went to SI to get permission to start Patreon. But very few people know this. I actually went to SI to ask them. I said, I need a permission to start kick off Patreon because I won't do it if you guys think it's a bad idea. They said, go for it. Yeah. I actually went to them. A lot of people know that, but I got the green light from them, and I got a green light from the creators of the game personally. Yeah. They said if people want to support you that way, you should let them. I said, okay, I went that way. Originally, I didn't want to. I was totally dead set against it. But they also convinced me. I won't mention the names of the people, but there are some there's only one or two significant people that I listen to. One of them is not Miles. I don't know Miles at all. I don't know him as a friend, but I know some of the others as friends, but they are quite senior in the company. Yeah, for me, all of you just enjoy yourselves, man. Yeah. And that's why I put out the book, right? I write out a book, and then sometimes I feel bad. I have to do another book. I feel like I'm going to write books, so I say, hey, shit, I got to give you all the content. As much. You're supporting me on Patreon. I got to give you guys a book. Okay, I got to write this book. Okay, man, I feel so bad. I got to give you more books. Okay, and I write another book, and another book, and another book. Oh, man. And then after that, I remember the first few years of 2016, right? We had a book, and then it was just revised updates. After a while, I got, oh, no, cannot be. I can't just give them the same stuff over and over again. I got to rewrite the whole book. Then after that, it became a brand new book every year. Every year is a brand new book. No more role guides. No more all the role guides and in a separate book. You go and read the role guides. All the team instructions in a separate book. You go and read the book if you want to. Bam. Just give you new stuff. And this tactic is shite. But it's better than the last one. It's a much more improved. The goal difference is better. Average is better. The gap between the two is not that far. Okay. So definitely it was something to work on. Okay. So all right, positive means they kept the ball. See the positive and pass into space. Not a very good option, right? So we got attacking now. Okay, so we play on attacking. The defense, we drop the tempos like if all the tactics. So we're gonna drop the tempo. This guy is pressing forward. Counter regroup is so bloody okay. Let's not go counter. Everybody is to drop back and defend. Regroup means you know what not? All of you run back. After attacking, all run back and defend. No. That's what it does. Not very helpful, okay. In a lot of situations. Okay, fairly wide, okay, pass into space, early cross. We only have really one guy attacking, this guy coming in, this guy coming in. So what we really need somewhere here is a playmaker. Okay, so we'll turn this guy maybe into a regista. Okay, and what we can do here is give him a bit more protection with a ball winning midfield on support. So this guy helps us win the ball here. So he's a regista. He's like old style quarterback. So we got a quarterback in the system. Right. So regista working all these roles. Okay. So now we got a 4-1-4-1 test. Safe. We don't know if this is going to work, but we'll just try it. Okay. Mid block. All right. We want the back line to get engaged in the final third. Okay. Because when it's standard, they're too far away. Okay. Engage. Prevent short goalkeeper distribution. Let them work the ball out. Step up more. We just remove this. Maybe we're opening too much space. In fact, what we'll do is now drop off more. So we move this block down the pitch. So it makes it a bit harder for them. We will drop the pressing a bit more. So we hold position a bit more. Right? Okay. So now we got another tactic called a 4-on-4 test. This will be the last tactic. So this is how I would set it up. Okay, so I would set it up exactly like this. Now let's compare this to what I did here. I got another 4-1-4-1. This is ready to go. This is my 4-1-4-1. This I tested it already in the DB. Did quite well. So you got a wide playmaker here, wing back overlapping him, central midfielder attacking this way. So these two guys are going around the wide playmaker, so he has options to play the ball, right? And then we've got a box-to-box midfielder, CM attack this way. Wing back and winger giving us width, but the DLF on support dropping deep. So when he drops there, he looks to play the passes out. So he'll most likely pass the ball out to this guy. So when we get into the final third, we'll ball into box, shorter tempo. Shorter passing is a possession-heavy tactic, but we play with a compressed block like this, where we have these guys playing in a much more tighter zone. Tim, you're here. Hello, man. How are you, sir? You're the best. Okay. All right. So that's it. That's it for the tactics test. I hope it helped you guys, because right now, you have to find. Look, Birmingham, come on. Sorry, not Birmingham, Napoli save, right? Just a quick one. I cannot help it. Transfer window closing, no. And I kept telling myself, no, you guys might want to be in the transfer window, right? You might want to know what's happening, right? So transfers coming in, right? So we got Mitya Damastia. Okay, we're trying to get him. Only team coming in with a bid is us, Napoli. Then Gonzalo Esteves, we can't help it, right? He's Atletico Madrid said. You like the simplicity? Very good. I hope you like that, man. And then we got João Cancelo. This is a blind signing. Guess what? I did a blind signing. Really? I went in there. I don't know what his attributes are. Right. I was thinking, I'm desperate. The window is closing. I need to get a wing back cover. No, somebody who can cover the right flank. Right. Okay. So this one is a blind signing. We don't know if it's gonna work. Okay. Because nobody else can come in. All right. So. And then finances, this is our situation right now. But look at the buffer, 51, 53, right? And then we got 5 million. So I'm thinking that we could be safe or we could be in trouble. I don't know. One or the two is going to happen. Okay? We don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully we have enough here, because I could lose my job. Offers made for, okay, very good. We get this guy off our books. We accept. Right, we want to get rid of Munoz, right? So hopefully it goes in. Damastia set to sign. Thank you very much. This guy is a big signing for us. Big signing on Damastia. Because Damastia, DV, Tobias, like Stuart Anderson, plus we signed Verratti, the young under 21. Yeah, so he's under 21 years old. Okay, so we got this guy coming in. He's going to become a ball-playing defender on defense. Okay, so, and then we'll just assign squad number first, auto submit. Let's not worry about squad registration rules, because probably going to screw it up again. Conseco coming first. Okay, Conseco is covered, right? Now let's find out the blind signing. Send on intensive language course. We don't know yet. We don't know what is good. Please sign a caliber. Hopefully this form can. Oh wow, he's got some caliber in him. Okay, apparently there's some caliber in him. We have no clue if he's decent, okay? Because blind signing. That's why sometimes I do that. Esteves, I knew it, he's gonna go. There's no way we could have held on to Goncalo Esteves. Okay, so transfers, are there any more? In, no one. That's it. We got our signings in, out. Oh, he's not going anywhere. Okay. Finances, what are we looking like? Bang! On the money, man. We still got 9 million. I could have gambled. No, I could have really gambled, really gone for it. I signed some more expensive players, right? But we didn't, right? So we got back in the money. This guy, we took over the club here, right? They dipped here, and then we flipped the script, and overnight, right? Like this already. Of course, there was a cash injection because money launderers that we are. We work for the Camorra. The Camorra decided to wash 20 million past us. We accepted it casually. Yeah. How blind was Cancelo? Very blind. I don't know. We're going to find out now, no? I did a complete blind signing with Cancelo. I have no idea if he's good or bad. Okay. All I saw is one or two of his attributes were decent. And that's all I did. Jose Cancelo. Let's find out what he's like. Okay, what? 14, 15, 14 anticipation, concentration 16, tackling 12, technique not so good. Okay, it's all right. He's decent. He can play. His crossing not that good. Can't cross the ball. But his cover, man, because it's going to be Terreciano taking the line. Terreciano will lead. Okay, DVF is injured, so let's try and see whether we can register these players. We're about to find out if I screwed up or not. Okay, let's go to our new players. I think we should be able to. We had enough going out as well. Who are we? Demastia is coming in. Jose Canseco is the second player. That's number 2. Did we sign anyone else? Luis Munoz. I don't have to register him. But I think he's in the club. He didn't go anywhere. Yeah. He's still in the club. Okay, so that's it. I think we have no worries. Polizzi under 22. DVF. Verratti is under 22, so that should be fine. And then, yeah, we're fine. Confirm selection. We just got through under nose. Munoz is leaving. Now we can go and sign an Argentinian. We got room for one player. We have room for one player. Sassuolo make loan approach to DVF. Now I can kiss my ass. He's not going anywhere, man. So finances now, we are solid. But the thing is, how did we get to this position? We literally sold the whole youth team. We don't have any youth players. Under 18, lock, stock, and smoking barrel all went on. All lousy, but we didn't bother. Under 20s, those that were semi-decent, we promoted them to the under 20 squad, right? But of these players, I'm only keeping 2 players. Only 2 players will be kept, right? We're only keeping Mr. Resilient and Mr. Professional. The rest of the players are going to go. I'm not interested in them. Staff, now we can start talking about once our next phase is to get rid of these guys. Once these guys go, because this team doesn't even have an assistant manager and a manager now. Okay. We don't have this guy. Yeah, so we're gonna slowly build up this team again. I'm not bothered with the staff at the moment. Later, because we want to put ourselves in a very strong financial position before we start investing in youth. Because you need about 5 million net profit, and then you should be fine. Yeah, Esteves was a good sell because in a lot of tactics, right, you create wingbacks are not good. Wingbacks are not easy to find in this game, but you can sell them for big. You can sell them for good money. Now the only problem is us. Right, we need one problem. Our strike force is not the best. Yeah. As evidenced by this performance. Let me show you the performance. Right. Okay. Let me show you this performance. This one. Our strike force is not the best. 1-0 win, 6 clear-cut chances. 1-0 win, 6 clear-cut bloody chances. So, that was a sad thing. All right, man. So, we got there. We done that. And now we have enough. We are in a position right now that come the January transfer window, if we need to sign a player, we can go out and sign a player. Because right now, we have room for one more player and he can come from South America. Right? Okay, that's the main thing. That's the first thing. Secondly, I can also use the money to kickstart the youth team if I wanted to. We've got a lot of buffer now. Look at this. In fact, looking at the wage budget right now, it's only 51. That's because we don't have a youth team. This is important to remember. Because I knocked out the youth team. The youth team played a big part. Plus, we let a lot of players go who didn't fit into our system. Right? Who didn't perform very well. Okay, how do I know all this nonsense? It's because of something that Tim did for us. Okay, Tim did this, right? A tool. So I've been using this tool to see how we stack up against other players. And, when we want to search for players, we want to look for players, really easy. I mean, what if you asked me a question about filters? Search filters for Mazzala, for Carrillo, for all these kind of roles. I'm going to tell you one thing. If you go if you set up like scouting search filter like this, right? Okay, and you want to be very specific about roles, like, like certain Mazzala like this, right? So you come in here, we got the filters here. Okay. But if you want to go in there and you want to be specific about certain roles, it can be. Just remember one thing. Interceptions per 90 is important for all positions. Okay. Then you've got wingers. Dribbles, not dribbles against, no, fouls against is important for wingers. That means you want to know how many times they get fouled. That'll tell you pace, acceleration, whether they did on the ball. Finally, the most simple of all, open play keeper. The most simple of all is, come to my tool here. Scoring efficiency tells you how good a player is at finding the back of the net. Chance creation score, how good a player is creating chances. A good metric was 0.5. He's good at creating chances. Defensive action, how good is he at the whole defensive side of the game. So you got these three already here. So all you want to do is, you want to find a Mazala? He's got to be good at creating chances. That's it. You want to find a good goal scoring Mazala? He's going to be good at creating chances. Maybe he should have some scoring efficiency. How do you filter down from the filter? Simple. Interceptions, maybe 1.5. You don't need him to be very defensive, right? So you just need this side of the game. Of course, then if you're looking at defensive actions, what's the benchmark for defenders? For defenders, 6 is the benchmark. What's the benchmark for midfielders? About 2.4, 2.3. If you're looking at a DM, a real grunt, trying to win the ball in the center, maybe higher. 2.4, 2.5, around there. Okay. What if you're looking at a regular box-to-box midfielder? He's got to go up and defend, come down and defend. Another, like 2 is decent. Okay. 2.0 is decent. Okay. What about a player that is more of a creative fulcrum? You want him to score goals, but you don't really care about him defending so much. Then maybe 1.5, 1.7. Okay. At least he does something. But then when you do something like that, you still want to check, because I didn't put sprints, right? You want to know how they close down players. Then you come here. Look at this whole list. Right? What Tim did was he did brilliantly give us this highlighter. So they precious attempts. You want to know this number, how likely is to put pressure on the back line. So all this is very useful. Yeah, my game crashed under testing. Your game shouldn't be able to crash under testing, man. It shouldn't. Wow, your game crashed under testing. That's the first. Yeah. That's the first. Normally it hasn't crashed. It never crashed on me. Yeah, I don't know what. You might have a lot of stuff here. You need to remove all the pictures. It could be my logo so far. It doesn't. For me, I have logos as well. I've got pictures. Doesn't affect me. Yeah, doesn't affect me. Victor, Discord is for patrons of the channel. Yeah. So if you're a patron of the channel, you get an automatic invite. Yeah. Or if you want to be a YouTube member, then you go to the Bustthenet, the main channel, become a YouTube member. Then you get through that you get an invite to the channel. Yeah. Or if you got mods, then don't take out your mods, man. Yeah, but your other mods shouldn't affect it. Logos, face packs, all shouldn't affect it. Because I got face packs too. I got logos as well. So how come my logos and face packs are working? Yeah. It could be a specific. Sometimes I think that what I remember creating crashes more often than anything else. Okay, several things. One is face pack. The other one is if you have too many tactics. You got 200 tactics and above, you can get crashes. Yeah, there's a number there. Yeah, there's a number for crash tactics. Or what you can do is this. So if you don't want to delete everything, right? Okay, so you take your entire Sports Interactive Documents folder, you push it, you copy and you put it on your desktop. Okay, then you start a save. That means now you'd go and delete the My Documents because you made a copy and put it there, right? So then you go and delete the whole thing. You delete the whole thing. Then you just add. You don't add anything first. You just take the tactics and put it there. See whether your game crashes again when you start the game. If it doesn't crash again, it's probably one of your face packs. I don't know which ones he used. So attend press conference. Yeah, let's go. Okay, we attend. First time we're going for a player. He's okay. He's a quality player. Shut up. I mean, he can be a small contribution. How was we coming? That's the aim. Does the squad feel it's an exciting time? Do you think you have too many players that I'm worried? No, I'm not. In the best quality options, I'll continue to do it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's someone who will arrive but then quickly assign himself as a dressing room leader. If he wants to lead, I suddenly won't stop him. How will you deal with the inevitable competition of playing time with this? Competitive players is what we want. Will you be able to fit? Of course I can, idiot. Will you be looking at that? I'm open. I want to make sure that it's every specific as maximized to the full potential. Will you say that helps towards his long-term vision? The hell? Everything we do is driven by long-term goals, idiot. Damn stupid question. Does it fulfill your long-term vision? The hell do you think I'm doing here? I'm signing with the guy who need to play for 2 games. Is it 3 months? Then after that, we're going to let him go. Stupid question. Get out of here. Go and find another job. You're not a reporter. You're an idiot. That's what I would say to him in real life. Okay, really. Somebody comes up to me and asks, does he fulfill your long-term vision? I'm like, no. What kind of question is that? Some of these questions that they give us, right? They are terrible on the game. They're like seriously dumb. I know that they've been talking about, some guys have been talking about open chat GPI, right? To use that for press interactions and all that. But for SI to go in there and start adding open chat GPI, open chat into the game is going to cost a lot of money. Yeah. And secondly, I don't think we can play open chat. A lot of people seem to think, we should add open chat to Football Manager. I'm like laughing my head off. You know what? Open chat runs on the Azure Windows servers. Yeah, that's how it runs. Yeah, you can't install open chat on your computer, can you? Right, you can't, because your computer can't run open chat. That's being run by a bloody quantum. That's being run by top of the line computers in the world. Some of the fastest computers in the world are doing that. Yeah, I don't have a few million lying around for a computer like that to play Football Manager. Do you? So when people talk about open chat being integrated in the game, I'm like, I don't think they make computers. Don't think it's a nice idea, but no, it's not gonna work, brothers and sisters. Zhao Tom was another player I was looking at. This guy, but I wasn't sure. But now his attributes come out. It's actually quite good. Look at this. This is what I wanted. I was looking for this high crossing. I wanted this part of the game and we couldn't get. So I rolled the dice on the other guy. Yeah, we don't have high crossing. But Teresiano will go forward. Hopefully he can get us the job done. So looking at the situation, we got Sassuolo coming on the 11th of September. We can just carry on. I think when the players are there, squad training, I think we're going to start giving them certain roles. I think let's see if the new boys are in. So tactically, we're still playing our Holy Grail and Monty Python system. Okay, Monty Python and Holy Grail. Okay, let's not get too excited. These are the two systems I'm using. Drop off more on Holy Grail. And then go to Monty Python. Monty Python has got drop off more. Okay, good. So both tactics are set for us. When the day comes when we're going to start hitting teams. Play our defense. Ding ding. Done. Monty Python and Monty Python. I like this tactic. All started with Monty Python. I don't know how the hell did we? Because Holy Grail, someone of you mentioned, right? Monty Python. That's when I decided to call this tactic Monty Python and this one Holy Grail. I like this. I like both the tactics. And I suspect that this tactic has the potential of some goal score. I mean, we lost to Juventus in the first game, 3-2, right? A bit unfortunate, I guess, that we didn't play badly. I was just an idiot in this game. I think you guys noticed that as well. But the second game, we turned things around. We smashed this team. Of course, they had the players sent off. They make things easier for them because we just destroyed them. And for your information, we have never, I don't think we did well against Fiorentina. We are not a top side. Again, of just a season ago, we were bravely battling against relegation. So last couple of seasons, right, we haven't, since I joined here. So we couldn't beat them. We drew twice against them. Now finally we beaten them. Okay. So after the signings, where do we look? How do we see ourselves? Season preview. Okay, we're now 50-1. We are in this group. I think we can push for Europe. Yeah, possibly top 5 this season. This season we aim for Champions League. Okay, we have to do better than we did on the opening day, but I think we should have the ability to do it. We made it to the Conference League, right? But we got knocked out in the first round. So we're concentrating on the rest of the league. So next game is going to be against Sassuolo, and hopefully we do the deed. Squad planner, looking at the Monty Python tactic, I think we're gonna DV is still gonna be playing here, but now we have the option of playing Mr. Demestia. So Demestia now is gonna be number 1 choice on the left. Then we got DV, and then on the right we're gonna have Toby or Brigoni. So we got our backline also. There's plenty. I wouldn't say there's plenty of competition because we're gonna be able to rotate Verratti. I signed this player. He's under the age of 21. So we added this player to our squad. He's got a long way to go. But I think that his physical attributes just told me that we shouldn't waste our time, right? We just bring him in, we get another defender in because some of the defenders are not young. Then we got ball winning midfielders. We got Almeida, Misukurera, Tobias can easily move into midfield. Midfield, we got 4 players that we can rotate. But the guy at the top of the list is, of course, the Kaiser. The Kaiser is leading our midfield, right? So everybody else is secondary to the Kaiser. The Kaiser leads. Then on the right is there's a battle. So we've got to get this guy playing because we love his aggression. He's got fantastic. Because aggression creates the sprints, the pressures that players apply. If they got good aggression, they apply a lot of pressure, right? So he's the one leading the charge. So he's always the one charging. So Almeida, again, we got him on a free. Now he's just cover. And got Fabrizio Lilly. So these 2 guys can come in to swap. On the right, we got the terror known as Terraciano for 750k. He's still a leading player. Used to be Gonzalo Esteves, right? He became so good at this position. Everybody wanted him. So we got Gentile and João Cancelo who can play here. Okay, so we got 3 here. On the left, we got Gutierrez and Gentile. So Gentile Ganchas is actually a fullback, right? But if push comes to shove, he can play here as well as a wing back. So that's not too bad. The reason why I really wanted ML is because of when we switched to a winger-based system, right? So when we switch to a winger-based system, I don't want these players to have issues with playing out of position. So we are going to start training him to start playing a new position. So we're going to ask him to start playing training him as a winger on support. What I like about this is you don't get, there's a redistribution, just a small redistribution of attributes, right? So it's still okay. So if he's got decent versatility, he'll be fine. So here training, wing on support here, Terraciano as well. Sorry, Gentile as well, training. Let's say, am I going to the same player twice? Okay, because I'm scared of going to Terraciano, right? Terraciano already can play in this position, there's no problem. Okay. So then João Cancelo comes in training. We're also going to put him here, winger on the right and winger on support. So I want him to run. I mean, he's too old, I know, but if he's going to come off the bench, I want him to be familiar with this position. Okay, up top, we got the Bogart. Bogart is playing here. No 2 ways about it. Then we got Strelak playing here. And then the player like Polizzi and Gullickson can play in this position. Spampati is just come off the bench. And then on the right, we have Brika or Ott. Right, so this Gotti Ott is going to be playing as the shadow striker. So he's learning this position right now. So this is how we set up the system. I think that we could be okay. So Ott and Bogart, the only question is, where do I play this guy? Ott is left footer, I think. Left footer. So if I play him here, he's going to come inside. So if I play him here, he's going to act as a winger. So I think we should keep Ott here and let Bogart. Bogart has got a strong right foot. So he's going to come out here and he's going to try and create chances as well. I like the idea of Bogart coming in from here because he can score goals. So that's the only problem right now. We don't have players who are very good on their feet. This is one of the reasons why we don't score a lot of goals. I mean, he's already scored a hat trick in one game. Right? because this tactic is going to generate a lot of goal scoring opportunities for him. I would exceed 70 goals a season is what I'm aiming for. Yeah, I don't think it's too much to ask, is it? I just want a 70 goal season, man. Yeah, from one of my strikers. You do this on cautious. Why exactly would you play cautious, and which tempo should you do? I will play on, because the long time ago, right, Barca, they were playing they didn't play a high tempo game. Barcelona in those days was all about possession. They still, even Pep Guardiola doesn't like it, but they always made sure that they could play the pass. The Spain team of that year was also doing the same thing, making sure they can play the pass. So I would play on cautious or balance at least, right? So on cautious mentality, you still got direct passing available to you, so those players can play diagonals if you want to. But I'll go like cautious or balanced. I would start on those mentalities. That's why I start there. On tempo, probably on the lower end, right? So tempo is lower or normal, but more I won't play on normal. I'll play on lower or normal, depending on the mentality you choose. If you choose a cautious, I play on normal. If you play the imbalance, I play on lower. Yeah. So that's it. I'll just reduce the mentality a bit more, or rather the tempo. Okay, guys, I think I've got to go and pick up the kids. Yes, it's that time of the evening when daddy has to be daddy. Pick up the two little monsters. Hopefully the monsters don't eat their daddy and they are fine. But I have to go, and I hope that you guys enjoyed today's stream. You found it useful. And especially the Total Tactics Tester. The link in the Total Tactics Tester is in the chat. I'm not trying to, I'm not pitching another Discord for you guys, but if you want to test your tactics, find out how to use these tools, they're in the community. I helped create the first version of the Total Tactics Tester. That was last year. This year, I'm not involved in creating it. They already know the principles. They can do it on their own. They're good enough. They're not stupid players. They can do all that stuff, and you can join the Discord if you need more help there as well. You share your tactics, and who knows, man, you could have a brilliant tactic coming up. I'm sure some of you are going to create some brilliant systems. You always do. So meanwhile, you guys stay safe, take care of yourselves. Once again, thank you for your support. Be good to everybody around you, and don't be sad. Bye-bye.